Okay. Let me put out these tweets real quick. There. All right. If you're watching the VOD, first of all, hello. We've got the Tokyo Championships tonight, which is the first of the OP14 Championships. It's going to be the first one live. I'm going to put chapters up of when the actual event starts, when we start doing matches. And then also, do I need any other chapters? Anyways, appreciate all of you VOD watchers, and if you like the stream, make sure to subscribe. We're 2 away at this point in the live stream from 21,000 subscribers, so every subscription helps. Very much appreciate it. And now we wait for chat to flow in. My goodness, should be live. Yes, chat, if you're here, make sure to say hello. Chat. Okay, so for the Tokyo Championships, we don't know exactly what Top Cut is. The stream is going to start in about 45 minutes-ish. About 45 minutes. Or no, 32 minutes, I'm sorry. 32-ish minutes. I only know that there is a UP Sanji and a... Oh, by the way, thanks so much for 21,000. I only know that there's a UP Sanji and an Ace. Those are the only two. I know a lot of people that are in Top Cut because I am obsessively online and I'm seeing everybody's tweets like saying that they're in. But a lot of I would say like I've seen like 6 or so people that have made the Top Cut online, but I don't know what deck they're playing. So I'm really excited about this. I'm really exciting. Yo, what's up, Daddy? Did you see the new EBO 4 cards? Yes. Actually, chat, before the championships get started tonight, we are going to go through the starter deck 29 and the EBO 4 cards for purple. We're going to go over those before, because we still got about 30 minutes until the championship stream starts. So we're going to go over those. But I hope everybody's having a good day. Welcome on in. Also, Opalio, what's going on? Hello, Zach, Santi, Heavenly. How you all doing? It's good to see everybody. Thank you. And thank you everyone who's subscribing as well. Congratulations, chat. We've reached it over 21,000. Appreciate everybody's support. Big tournament tonight. For anyone who does not know, this is the first OP14 championship happening in Tokyo. I'm very excited. Also, there's a Hong Kong championship chat that is going on right now that is OP14. So I don't know if it'll be Monday or Sunday, but one of those 2 days I will do commentary over the Hong Kong championships as well. Not this championship. We're doing that tonight. But either Sunday or Monday, I will do the Hong Kong championships on top of that. So whether you're on Twitch like Monkey D Angel, first of all, how you doing, Monkey D Angel? But if you're on Twitch or YouTube, please make sure to follow, subscribe, any of that stuff. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Yo, what up, Sparkle Circle? Hey, Circle, no worries. The VOD is public. You'll be able to watch the VOD, which will have everything in it. So, and also I'll release single videos with the translated cards as I usually do. So appreciate you stopping by. I hope to see you again soon. Hope you have a good night too. Cray, how you feeling about Emu into the stuff, as well as everyone figured out how to win? I think Emu is still a very good deck. Like, I still think we're going to see like 2 or 3 Emus in Top Cut. Mostly because the people who have played the deck for so long now, maybe they don't want to drop it because it's still really early in the format. They're not comfortable with any other deck. And so they're much more likely to pick up on these new matchups like Mihawk, Boa, how to play them and counterplay them, rather than picking up a new deck like Mihawk and then learning, you know, the matchups. So I still think Emu is going to do pretty well in this event, but I think Emu over time will fall off a bit. But I don't know if I think Emu will win the event today. I bet Mihawk wins the event today. I think it'd be really cool. I'm curious, Axios, about how people will be creative-wise today as well. I'm really excited. I know there's a UP Sanji in Top Cut, so I'm pretty stoked about that, chat. Kalish, what's going on? Kaido back in EBO4. I'm excited. You think Sparkle Mihawk's winning this? Yo, Carlos, what's good? How are you? Captain Cinnamon, what's going on? I think OP14 is cool. I think it's cool. I'm excited to watch this tonight. I've been looking forward to this all day. Who are you most excited for in OP14? That's a good question. I like Doflamingo the best. That's the deck that I want to play. Is this top 32? I think it's top 16, but I don't know for sure. Axios. I can't promise you, but once they show the deck distribution, we'll know. But usually in these tournaments, they only do top 16. I don't know how many they've done where it's top 32. But Crazy Flying TCG, what's good? Cribs, how are you? But it's really exciting, chat. It's really exciting. Anyways, chat, before the tournament starts, we're going to go over the newly revealed cards. We're going to go over this newly revealed cards, chat, that happened over the last 24 hours or so, 48 hours. Emu does get some new cards in OP14. The Ground Zero Death or Ground Death event, Emu plays like 4 of that. It's such a good deck. It's basically like a black hole, and he can play because it's a 1-cost event. Anyways, chat, the first card that we got revealed yesterday, starter deck 29 leader. We knew it was going to be a yellow Luffy, but it's 6,000, or I'm sorry. Let me restart that, chat. Let me restart that. Also, I'm going to turn the music off now that we've started up. I don't want to get copyright claimed. Chat, starting off with the reveals that we've gotten in the last like 48 hours, we knew that this leader in starter deck 29 was going to be a yellow Luffy, but we got the full reveal just the other day. It is a 6-life, 5,000 power strike leader. 6 life, not something that's brand new to the game, but doesn't happen very often, right? Edward Newgate is the 6-life leader that I think of right away, right? But Edward Newgate had to take a life every single turn at the end of turn. This Luffy is Straw Hat, Egghead, and 4 Emperors, so 3 different typings. Really like the 4 Emperors typing. Wonder if we'll get any stuff for 4 Emperors in the future, like some synergy of a deck type. And has an effect when attacking. If you have 2 or less life cards, draw 1 card, then trash 1 card from your hand. Honestly, kind of feels like a little bit of a vanilla-ish leader, but especially with yellow, especially with the Egghead typing, I think this leader is really going to depend on its support, right? And especially because you have plenty of opportunities in this deck potentially to be able to do stuff like healing, right? Whether that's putting your own cards in the life from the top of your deck, from your hand, from the field, right? You could be at 2 or less life for a long time. This could be kind of a tanky leader at the end of the game. It could be really interesting to see a 6-life leader, especially with the Egghead typing, play around with the different deck lists. I'm not like fully convinced that this is going to be like super meta or anything like that, but especially seeing a lot of the cards, and we'll talk about some of the cards here in a second. I'll scroll down to show more. I definitely think he's got a little bit of potential, but he's gonna need some cards. That's for sure, chat. Yeah, Egghead Luffy is a little bit more vanilla than I expected. This is not the first 6-life leader. Yeah, Newgate is the first one. Although he's kind of like a pseudo 6-life leader because he takes life at the end of every turn. So he's like kind of 6-life, but he's also not 6-life, but he is 6-life. Yo, Diego, what's good? I'm so excited for tonight. I know, Kevin. I'm so happy that we have multiple championships. There's Tokyo going on right now, and there's also Hong Kong. There's 2 championships happening. So going off with some of the other starter deck events, chat, we've got Raw Heat Strike. This is a 1-cost yellow event, Egghead Straw Hat Crew. It is a pure counter event with a trigger of draw 1 card, something we've seen a lot of times in these events. But on the counter, if you decide to use it, up to one of your leaders or characters gets plus 2,000 power during this battle. Then, if your life is at 1 or less, up to one of your opponent's leaders or characters gets minus 2,000 power during this turn. This is especially nice, I believe, if there's any sort of like restand event potential that you could see, right? Because that minus 2,000 power does stick. You could also potentially see maybe a trigger of KOing something with power, right? So minusing the power on the turn could be really nice if you set up some sort of trigger that like KOs a X power character or less. I'm not sure if there's any yellow, but there could be in the future. And this is almost like a 4,000 power event, a 1-cost 4,000 power event, especially if you fit that extra condition of 1 or less life. 4,000 or pseudo 4,000 power counter events are the rage right now in the One Piece trading card game. They're printing a lot of them, and so this is just the next iteration, in my opinion. This is going to be really good, I feel like, if we get something like Raigo back in the format. Maybe not necessarily like Raigo, but Raigo having those conditions of like 1 or less life, right? If you get to a point in this Luffy deck or whatever deck that you're playing, right? This is probably actually really good in Enel. And Enel probably really likes this card. It's basically like an L Thor, except you get to minus power on one of your opponent's characters, which could be really, really cool. Yo, what up, Kim? I hope to see some Crocodile today, too. I think that'd be really cool. Do you know how the new Black Croc is going to be able to... I think Black Croc is actually pretty good. I think it's a little predictable at times of like what it's going to do, but it's all about, can you stop it? Can you stop like the stun lock? And that's going to be the big thing. Yeah, I'll get to that in a sec, Purple Alligator. Yeah, this could also be really good in Black Yellow Luffy on top of that, right? Especially in Black Yellow Luffy, this being a Straw Hat Crew kind of card. If you ever have like Straw Hat Crew Search, because I know that right now they have the 1-cost Searcher event from the starter deck and also the GARP, so that doesn't really find this. But if you have some generic Straw Hat Crew kind of searching, this could work out on this card. Speaking of Straw Hat Crew searching in yellow, we've got a Sanji here. So a nice Sanji SR, 4-cost, 5,000 power, 1K counter with the Egghead and Straw Hat Crew typing. It's got an on-play effect. Look at the top 4 cards, find a Straw Hat Crew type card, add it to your hand, place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. And then with a trigger, if you trash 1 card from your hand, you can play this card. This is obviously built for the starter deck Luffy, right? But really anything, we know a lot of those Egghead cards are Straw Hat Crew, right? The first couple ones that I think of are the 5-cost Nami, right? That KOs different characters. Might be really good in combination with this deck, right? Might be an auto inclusion in this Luffy. If you have any sort... What was I going to say? If you have any sort of yellow Straw Hat Crew synergy of some sorts, this is just a good card to play, right? It doesn't have to be Egghead on top of it. And especially with the trigger of playing this card down onto the field, all you got to do is trash a card. Your leader doesn't have to be Luffy. It doesn't have to be Egghead. All you got to do is just trash 1 card from hand. This is just any deck that wants to play a yellow Straw Hat Crew package would play this card for sure. Pick to win the event? I'm going to say Mihawk. Yo, what up, Mixta? How are you? I appreciate you joining on the Twitch side. Homie, what's good? Yeah, the new Lilith Searcher might be really good for the deck, right? With this starter deck Luffy, the 1-cost Lilith that finds any trigger card. I mean, you find a trigger right there. You find a trigger character right here. It's probably pretty good. Also, Robin could love this. Yeah, Robin could love this. Nami, I feel like, doesn't really run a lot of Straw Hat Crews, but it could find the 5-cost Nami from EBO3. That could be really good. That could be nice. The new card in OP14 for Emu is called Ground Death. It's a 1-cost event of Baroque Works that basically you tap 4 Dawn in total, 1 for the event and then 3 extras, and you negate the effects of a 5-cost. Yeah, this also searches the 7-cost Robin. So maybe Blue Yellow Nami does really love this card, because in EBO3 you got so many good cards to be able to grab on the 7-cost Robin and the 5-cost Nami. That's not a bad call out at all. The new Bow event is really good. The You'll Frighten Me event, the 1-cost event. That's a pretty good card. I like that a lot. Perfume Femur is also a broken card. Now, this character, Chad, this is another SR in the set. Beautiful illustration, by the way. Roar Nora Zoro. This is a 6-cost, 8,000 power rush character. It's also really interesting with the translation. Usually we just have rush on the card, but now it says rush Kiara, which is like rush character, I'm pretty sure. Like a keyword rush. Or it's like it's different than the other rush cards that we have. I don't know exactly how to explain it. Somebody in chat may need to help me on explaining this. But like this whole long part is not normal. This is different now. Also, Mixta, Tim, YST, and also Tolls Kesp. Thank you so much for following over on Twitch. Appreciate you. But Chad, this is a rush with an activate main as well once per turn. If you trash 1 card that has a trigger from your hand, you draw 1 card and you give Arrested Dawn to one of your leaders or characters. This can be so nice, right? Especially if Ace continues to be really, really good in the One Piece trading card game. That means on curve, not only can you swing 8, but utilize the activate main, filter your hand, right? Trashing a card with trigger and drawing 1 card, replacing that card in your hand, but be able to make your leader a 6,000 power leader to swing. Oh, wait. Oh, this is rush character. Oh, I should have just read it. This card having rush character means that it can attack characters on the turn that it's played. We've seen a lot of times in the One Piece trading card game, cards like Karita Coliseum, right? Especially in OP14, the new Mr. 1. That has an effect of if you fulfill X condition or whatever, you can have rush onto characters or the ability to attack characters on the turn that this card is played. This basically has given it a new keyword now, just rush character. We'll probably see this way more often now in the One Piece trading card game. This generic rush where you don't have to fill any condition, but you can only swing at characters. I really like this card. I really, really like this card. Mr. Bob, it's basically for like protection reasons, because you'd be shocked, especially as you grow bigger as a channel, how many trolls you get of people being like racist or homophobic or some other like terrible, terrible things. So it has that requirement to be subscribed to the channel, because that actually deters like 90% of horrible people. Yes, Maxie, they haven't started Top Cut yet. Yeah, it's definitely good for yellow. Of course, Mr. Bob. This Zoro generically, I think, can be played in a lot of different decks, and especially if you're running this Sanji within your deck, right, and you're primarily a trigger deck, you can really utilize this card. Be able to get that hand filter, be able to get that Rested Dawn, something in like blue, yellow Nami, as chat is saying as well. Being able to get that Dawn on Nami to be able to use her leader effect can be so good. I don't know if it's like better than the 5-cost Nami on the even curve turn 3, but I think this Zoro is a pretty good card, right? Any leader that wants to have one Dawn attached, this card fulfills it because all you have to do is just trash a trigger from your hand. Again, you don't have to be Land of Wano or Egghead or Straw Hat Crew. You don't have to have a specific leader, right, name. It is just a generic trash one card from hand. Boom, you're going to be able to get it. Hey, thank you, J Hall. I did have one. I'm glad you got your third one in a row. That's so sick. I'm sorry, not third one in a row. You got third in one of the Treasure Cups. I hope you enjoy your Tashigi. I have not played in a single Treasure Cup, chat, and I'm not going to play in any Treasure Cups, unfortunately. I'm too busy. Chat, I hope you're having a good day. Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate it. Yo, Kraken, thank you so much for a 5-watch streak. Captain Cinnamon as well. Thank you so much for following. Appreciate it. Yeah, the filter is so nice. Especially because yellow sometimes runs a lot of dead cards with like the big boss monsters. Like I'm thinking of an L, and it may just more be specific for an L, but being able to draw one and trash one basically is so good. Well, it's trash one and then draw one, but this is so good. I want to, Caleb, but there's so much content that I want to make right now. There's so much content I want to make. Anyway, speaking of content, chat, we got to keep going. We've got about 11 minutes until the stream starts. I think this is the last event. Oh, no, it's not. All right, the next event that we've got, Kizaru. We're 100 times stronger than we were 2 years ago. It's a 1-cost event. Egghead for Emperor Straw Hat Crew. On main, your leader, Monkey D. Luffy, gains unblockable for the turn. And then on the counter, you can get 3,000 counter power. This is the typical 1-cost event that does 2 different things based on when you use it within the game. And it's actually kind of really nice for this to get unblockable. Think about this in black yellow Luffy. Think about it in the starter deck Luffy to be able to get that unblockable for game. Lots of Luffy stuff in the One Piece trading card game historically has unblockable, and we're seeing a lot of these colors as well gain some sort of unblockable trait. Yellow's unblockable now, leader restricted to Monkey D. Luffy. This is obviously a good card, right? Especially in yellow. It's not like you have a variety of different unblockables to be able to utilize. So I think especially if you're running a Monkey D. Luffy leader, you're at least running one of these. Maybe even 2, to be honest. Maybe even more. We've got the last event from the starter deck 29 before we move into the EBO4 cards. Death Lion Strike. It's a 2-cost event that's Egghead and Straw Hat Crew. Is a 2-cost counter event. Up to one of your leaders or characters gains 4,000 power during this battle. Then, if your life is at 2 or less, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 3 or less. Also got a trigger of draw 2, trash 1. I think this card is fine. I mean, being able to be plus 4,000 power, definitely very, very good, right? Do not get me wrong about that. But KOing a 3 cost doesn't necessarily, I feel like, matter so much, especially when you're at 2 life or less, right? A lot of big bodies are coming out on the field. Maybe if you ever get some cost manipulation, right? We've seen green. If you watch one of my other videos talking about the green EBO4 cards that got revealed, you know, green getting cost manipulation. If yellow were to ever get something like that, one, I think it'd be really, really good. But two, I think this card would work a little bit better for it, but we just have to wait and see. It's all meta dependent, right, on how many good 3 costs or less are in the format. But on the flip side, if you needed more 4,000 power counter events, you could add this one in, and you don't have to do the KO effect, right? You can just use this event to get the plus 4,000 power, because even if you're at 4 life, right, in the game, you're going to get the plus 4,000 power. So it's not bad, I feel like. Yeah, turn 1 niche. It's like Diable Jambe from the first starter deck. Yeah, Elite Ralph. I mean, any leader that needs a Dawn ×1 will play that Zoro. I like SD29. I think it's cool, J-Hall. But yeah, Caleb, just the unblockable is crazy. Mr. Bob, I don't really care about color identities. I think if you try to enforce color identities too much, you're too restrictive on card design. And so I like that they're branching things out. And I also kind of like that they're branching things out, but keeping it restricted to certain types. So like the carrot cost reduction is limited to just carrot decks, right? Like just Minx decks. The unblockable event is just to Luffy leaders, right? So they're branching out with it, and I don't really care because there's a chopper. Oh, these were revealed this morning, actually, chat. These were revealed this morning, so we got some more in here. No, I don't think you aggressively take life and go to 2. I don't think that's how you'll play the deck. I don't think that's how you'll play. I think it's healthy for the game in the long run, Mr. Bob. I think it's fine. All right, chat. Tony Chopper, he's a 4 cost 5,000 power with a 1k counter. He's got an on KO effect as if you would ever KO this little cute guy, I will say. You may add 1 card from the top or bottom of your life to your hand, and if you do, you add 1 card from your hand to the top of your life cards. This is basically an on KO effect that's like a Hiyori or something like that, right? Being able to cycle your life with exactly what you want. Could be nice to be able to set up like a specific trigger that you really want, whether that's playing out a character, whether that's maybe KOing a character or something of the sort. Maybe healing a life with a 0 cost trigger. I don't know. But you do have to put it to the top of the life cards. You don't have the flexibility of putting it in the bottom, right? So you got to play around with that. And then has a trigger up to one of your Luffy cards gains 2,000 power during the turn. More often than not going to be a leader. So this could be really nice if you like manipulate your life and put the chopper on the top to be able to then just take it and be like a pseudo 7,000 power leader for the rest of the turn as your opponent swings. Could be nice. And especially because he's not a 2K, he's a 1K, it doesn't feel as bad to do. We've got Kanku here with the Egghead and CP0. This is, I think, one of the next CP0 cards. We don't have too many in yellow, but we did get that Stussy in OP14. So who knows, maybe like a Rob Lucci or Khalifa or something in the Egghead CP0 typing in the future. But for now, looking at this guy, if your life is equal or less than the number of your opponent's life cards, this character gains 1,000 power, an ongoing effect, being a 4 cost 6,000 power character. He's got a trigger as well of KOing a 3 cost or less. I think this card is fine. I mean, probably as a yellow deck, you take life a little bit more aggressively sometimes than the average deck. So I guess more often than not, he's going to be a 6,000 power leader. But maybe in the late stages of the game, he might balance around between 5 and 6, just depending on what your opponent is doing, what your opponent's playing, and what your strategy is against him. I'm not sold he would be in the deck, but he is a trigger. So if you're running the 1-cost Lilith Searcher, right, specifically thinking of like starter deck 29 Luffy, right? If you're running the Lilith Searcher in your deck, this is a searchable card, right? Because it does have trigger. Who knows? The championship should start, chat, in a... It looks like the stream has started, but the stream has started, but not in the way that you think it has. It is still on this, like, getting ready to start screen. I'm going to turn the audio up on my end, but then mute it for you guys. So then in the YouTube video that I'm recording right now, it doesn't get in, but I hear it when it switches over. All right, let's talk about King, Kaido, and Stealth Black, I think it is. King is a 6-cost, 7,000 power character. Beautiful, beautiful illustration, by the way. Love this illustration. If this character would be KO'd, you may instead return 1 Dawn card from your field into your Dawn deck instead. So, having a KO protection effect, going to be really nice to keep this guy on the field. And then, the activate main once per turn. If your leader has the Animal Kingdom Pirates type, and you have no other King characters on the field, add up to 1 card from your Dawn deck and set it as active, and add up to 1 additional Dawn card and rest it. This card is so good. Think about this, chat. Think about this. You're playing Kaido, right? Or King. You're playing Kaido or King. You're on the odd curve. So starting first, you do 1 Dawn. Maybe you're playing King. You play the 1-cost Queen Searcher. You find Onigashima, put it in your hand. Cool. You get to turn 2, right? So you're at 3 Dawn. You go to Onigashima. Onigashima, you go ahead, ramp a Dawn. Now you're at 4 Dawn. You pass off the turn. Now going into your 3rd turn, you hit 6 Dawn. Now you play King on the field. And then you go ahead, utilize the activate main on King to be able to ramp 2 Dawn through his effect alone to go to 8, and then Onigashima can get you to 9. By the way, one of those Dawn that you ramp becomes active, so you can utilize it for like a 6k leader swing or something like that. This is awesome. Not only having the protection from effects, but also battles on top of that, means that this card is so good in my opinion. This is going to be a staple in King, and it should be. This card is awesome. This card is really, really good. All right, chat. The tournament is not started yet. I will be listening in. But we're gonna fly through these last 2 cards real quick, chat. We're gonna be really quick about this. Next, we've got Kaido, 7-cost, 9,000 power character. If this character would be KO'd, which could be an effect, which could be battle, right? You can return 1 Dawn from your field to your Dawn deck instead. On play, Dawn ×2. If your leader has the Animal Kingdom Pirates type, this character gains Rush, and you rest a 7-cost or less. This could be really good to be able to try to go for game, chat. Resting a 7-cost or less is a huge, huge thing to be able to do. Most blockers outside of 10-cost Edward, Newgate, and be able to get that rush is going to be so nice, right? A 9,000 power swing. I'm excited for this card. I think King and Kaido could play this. Kaido could be very, very nice being able to play out this card. I like this a lot. And then finally, one of the cards that I'm most excited about, we've got Stealth Black. It's a 3-cost event card for Straw Hat Crew. If your leader is Sanji and you have 4 or more Dawn cards on your field, play up to 1 Sanji with 6,000 power or less from your hand or trash. This is going to be so good in blue, purple Sanji. I honestly think that this rejuvenates the deck a little bit and rebuilds it. You're built all around playing out these Sanjis, playing out this event to constantly recur. It's going to be so good, and a trigger of draw 2, trash 1 from your hand, chat. This is going to be a good one, especially if Sanjis continue getting printed that are purple or whatever color it is that could fit with your Sanji leader and in that 6,000 power range. Going to be so good. All right, chat. Let's get to this. And so, chat, if you're watching the YouTube video talking about the reveals, very excited about the reveals. I think there's a lot of good combinations in general with it. And if you're watching the YouTube video, as I just said, that is going to be posted later. We are going into these Japan Championships, the OP14 Championships, so you can check that out on the channel as well. Anyways, chat, let's go back to you guys. Okay, I'm back, chat. I'm back. Sorry for speeding through that at the end. Yo, Zebulon, what's good? No, King is not getting rotated, Cribs. It'll be here for a while because that's an OP08 card. No, I don't think KO by battle would go through the effect. It would count because it just says if this character would be KO'd. So you can just return it. You have to bottom deck it or bounce it back to hand. Or trash the character. You have to do one of those 3 things. We are narrating the OP14 tourney, Penguin. Black Friday shopping went well. I bought a lot of non-One Piece related things. If someone on 4 Dawn plays Sanji into event, play Sanji from trash we beefin', it's going to be so good, Kevin. The new event is so good. I don't know, Spartan, if we'll get reveals tonight, just simply because this is the first OP14 championship. Right now, I feel like they just want to advertise OP14, right? Because this is the first championship. They want the focus to be OP14. So I don't know if they will. It might be like last weekend where they like did the Panda Man and stuff like that. Atrocious Dawn sleeves when? Hey, maybe... Chat, put a 1 in chat if you would rep Atrocious TCG Dawn sleeves. I got to get my tweet ready for this championship, chat. Chat, 1,200 players in this tournament. They're doing a top 16. Top 16 in the championship. Championships in Tokyo right now. All right, getting the tweet ready. 1. All right, Chad. Maybe I'll talk to some people about some potential sleeves. Cool Crash. I think Dracula Mihawk is the best deck to come out of OP14, but I think Boa's pretty good. I think Jinbei's pretty good. I think Dofi's pretty good. I think Crocodile's pretty good. And a lot of people are saying that Gecko is a sleeper pick. So who knows? I know 1,200 players. There were... Ooh. Okay, Chad, here's the deck distribution of the overall tournament. Mihawk was the #1 deck in the tournament, chat, at 19%. Dethroning Emu and Ace. Ace being the second most populous deck at 15%. Boa Hancock being 11%. Emu at 10%. Bonnie at 5%. Green Bonnie. Blue Yellow Nami at 5%. Sabo, Red Black Sabo at 4%. Doflamingo, Purple Doflamingo being at 3%. Jinbei being at 3%. We got Blue Purple Luffy at 3%. We've got Roger at 2%. We've got Red Green Luffy at 2%. Green Zoro at 2%. Vivi at 2%, Crocodile at 2%, and Moria at 2%. And then the other 10% in the meta was the new Red Law, a little bit in there. You had Blue Purple Sanji, Red Green Smoker, Red Black Kobe, Blue Promo Nami, and also Yellow Bonnie. We could see a Nami in the top 16 for sure. 4 sets of Peronas. They're up big right now. Moria and Bo both lose when people know how to play against it. Well, that's the thing about these first tournaments, though, DD, is when you're in a first tournament like this where the format is only a week old, there's probably a good chance that a lot of people just don't know how to play against you because they probably spend so much time testing for all of this, right? They didn't spend a lot of time testing against this. Where's Hanel? Probably in the grave. Roger's still right here. Jinbei, you better do this for me. I kind of want to see Moria if we're being real here. Croc on a feature match per age. Chat, here we go. Here's the feature match. Oops. Oh my gosh. Dang it. I'm fumbling, chat. I'm fumbling. So, chat, we got 4 Ace, 3 Emu, 2 Mihawk, 2 Doflamingo, 1 Jinbei, 1 Sanji, 1 Luffy, Blue Purple, 1 Bo Hancock, and 1 Blue Nami. Or Blue Yellow Nami, I should say. Pretty diverse top cut. Pretty good, chat. All right, chat, I'm going to tweet this right away to try to get some Twitter clout. 4 Ace, 3 Emu. Chat, let me know how you feel about this top cut. Let me know how you feel about this top cut. 1 Jinbei, 1 UP Sanji, 1 UP Luffy, 1 Hancock, 1 Nami. There we go. Okay, chat. How do you feel about this top cut? How do you feel about this top cut? Oh, I'm still recording on my end. I need to turn that off. Blue goes crazy. Yeah, there's a lot. Well, there's like, yeah, I mean, Ace takes up a lot of the blue, but there's a lot of blue on this side. But this is only 5 decks, chat. Think of this way. This is only 5 decks. Ace takes up 4, right? So 9 blue decks in total. But if you take out Ace, there's only 5 of the top 16. But still like the most populous color, right? There's a good amount of purple too, right? 3 different purple decks or partially purple decks. I want to see Doflamingo win it all. I want to see Doflamingo, chat. Oh, I know Purple Alligator. Chat, if you listen to my tier list video that I posted just the other day, you knew that Sanji was going to make top cut of this tournament. You knew, chat. If you watched my videos and you subscribed to this channel, you would know that Sanji was going to make top cut of this tournament. I told you so. Basically, Lord Hello, you're redirecting a lot of your opponent's attacks and getting additional effects through on KO effects. But also on top of that, you are doing a little bit of KOing. You've got counter events. You're kind of like a tanky deck, I feel like. Jinbei is the only real blue deck. Jinbei is the new Silver's Rayleigh, chat. Jinbei is the new Silver's Rayleigh. One person made a comment of that on one of my videos, and I have not thought about anything else since. Yeah, blue just drawing cards is so good. Yeah, the blue decks are all pretty different, I feel like. I agree with that, Yost. Also, Austin, how are you doing today? Ace is the boogeyman of this format, chat. Ace is the boogeyman of this format. It's going to be all about, can your deck beat Ace? Chat, looks like we're getting into our first match. We've got the first match of this tournament. It's going to be blue-yellow Nami. So a deck that got a lot of hype in EBO3, right, is still alive here in OP14. Going to be very excited to see what this Nami is matched up against in this tournament. The only blue-yellow Nami in this bracket, this top 16 bracket. Going to be curious. Nami did get some new cards in OP14, chat. The new Silver's Rayleigh Rare is a card that I've seen in so many different Nami lists. Going to be facing up against Boa Hancock. This will be really interesting, chat. I'm not well versed in this matchup. It's going to be really cool to see two blue-yellow decks facing off against each other, battling for the top crown. Chat, leave your guesses in either the live chats, whether you're on Twitch or YouTube right now, if you're watching this live on the live stream, or if you're watching the YouTube videos in the back end right after the fact where I put the translations on screen. Please leave your guesses in the comments down below. You played a lot of One Piece today, Yos? I didn't play like any. I played more Magic than One Piece today. Fun fact. Chad, this is going to be all about me complaining about how we don't have a way to get the Shoujo Girl promo. Absolutely absurd. Boa has a rough time into Nami. Boa takes this. Nami. So Boa, for anyone who does not know, because Boa is a new leader, right? It is a 4-life, 5,000 power leader on opponent's turn. When a character is played, when one of your characters is played, you draw one card. So Boa is going to run a lot of trigger bodies to be able to get extra draw. And then Dawn times 1 once per turn. When one of your characters with the type Amazon, Lily, or Kuja Pirates with original power 5,000 or greater is KO'd, your opponent adds one card from the top of your life to your hand. This Nami right here is playing an interesting version. We see Usopp in the deck list. Usopp, a card from, I believe, EBO2, is a very good card if your deck is built around placing vanilla cards on the field, right? Going to be really interesting, but didn't look like an incredible hand in my opinion. The Boa, though, has a nice hand, I would say. Has that one-cost Lilith Searcher and also a couple Boa blockers to be able to go ahead, look at the top cards of the deck to try to figure out what am I going to top deck, what am I going to draw into in the coming turns, and then a Nami from EBO3 and Silver's Rayleigh. Looks like Nami is going first in this game, does not have any search in the hand. It's going to be curious. I wonder how many vanillas Nami is playing, because if you follow me on Twitter, you know that in OP11, I was actually playing a version of Blue Yellow Nami to locals with the Usopp that plays out the vanillas. It was basically 2K.deck, I called it. You played a lot of vanilla 2Ks. And starting off with the Servant event. I forgot the Servant event was actually a search. If your leader is Nami, you look at the top 4 cards, find a card with the cost of 2 to 8, and so is favoring the Robin instead of the Chopper. We see a vanilla Chopper in the hand, but our player going for the Robin instead. Personally going for 3 7-cost Robins has to be a great card within this matchup and has to be something that he's game planning around, or else why else would he grab 3? And so now the Boa player grabbing the Lilith and playing it out. We see a Gorgon Sisters in the hand as a trigger card. Going to be a very good card in the deck, right? The Gorgon Sisters, after you use that activate main, can give a Rested Dawn to all your leaders and characters, which could be very, very nice if you've got 3 Kuja Pirates or Amazon Lily cards. Nami going to start out with a 6K at lead, is just going to go ahead, try to put on pressure. And Boa now is going to use the Gorgon Sisters off the first trigger. If your leader is Kuja Pirates, play the card and then through your leader effect, draw 1 card. So now we see Nami play the Capone Beige. The Capone Beige is going to try to find one of these 2Ks right onto the field. Has couple different options. Could also find Usopp, right? Finding Straw Hat Crew kind of characters, and he favors the Usopp. Gonna put that into the hand and pass off the turn, right? Nothing to do with the rest of the Dawn. So now Boa with 4 Dawn. Did love getting that body on the field, right? Especially as a 5,000 power attacker. We'll see probably the Boa Hancock blocker come down onto the field, as plenty of Boas in the hand. We also could see Ran come down, right? Both Ran and Boa give a Rested Dawn to one of your leaders, right? So it is going to fulfill that Dawn ×1 effect. And so opts for the Boa Hancock blocker from starter deck 17 is going to try to read Nami's leader effect real quick, right? Try to, make sure that they know about the plus 2,000 power. So what are those 3 cards? I didn't get a good look at them when they showed them before. Maybe they'll show them again. Looks like at least 1 yellow card in there. I think there's a Silver's Rayleigh in that top 3. So both players playing the Silver's Rayleigh. Looks like also an Oh, You'll Frighten Me as well. So looks like that top 3 is Rayleigh, You'll Frighten Me, and I think Charlotte Pudding is in that top 3. So does have an opportunity to put it at the bottom and is going to put it at the bottom. Does not want to see any of those cards as they attach 1 onto their leader. We'll see if they swing 6,000 power at lead, but is going to go ahead, use that Gorgon Sisters effect to reveal 3 Amazon Lily or Kuja Pirates kind of cards, Ran, Boa, and Boa, to give a Rested Dawn on leaders and characters. Going to put 1 on the Boa, Gorgon Sisters, and Boa. So is going to try to force that 7,000 power, and so I think just used his leader effect right there to be able to get out of that first swing. Now the second swing on the leader is going to go ahead, take a life, no trigger. I think found the 5-cost Nami. So we'll see on this turn if he goes ahead and plays the 5-cost Nami onto the field. One of the best cards to come out of EBO3, especially helped put Nami back onto the map in this format. With that on play, give a Rested Dawn, and because Boa was at 3 or more life, they end up taking a life, putting it into their hand, and then activating Nami's leader effect to be able to draw 1 card since a life card was taken from their opponent's field of play. So Nami now on curve, got a Dawn attached to leader, is going to be able to use that on opponent's attack, right, with that Dawn ×1, but ends up just passing the turn. Does not want to swing 6 potentially at this point to maybe fetch a card out of hand or block, maybe put them down to 1 life. Does not want to get a trigger body out at this point. So Nami now also having Red Rock in hand. Remember that Nami with that Dawn ×1 can utilize any card in their hand for counter or some sort of form of counter because of trashing 1 card, becoming a 7K leader. Oftentimes you'll see Nami use a useless card or a brick to be able to hit that mark. Boa now being at 6 Dawn has a couple choices that they need to make. We'll see what they decide to do. Nami is just going to play another Nami in the face of the Nami, get a Dawn attached, and because of that effect on the on play, the Nami leader is going to take a life as well because they were at 3 or more life. And so with the Gorgon Sisters now, probably just going to reveal the same 3 Kuja Pirates or Amazon Lily kind of cards to be able to put Rested Dawn everywhere. Get 1 on leader, get 1 on the Gorgon Sisters, get 1 on the blocker Boa. And is going to go ahead with the swings, is going to try to fetch that leader effect, right? Still has 1 Dawn active, so could potentially attach it to the Gorgon Sisters, maybe swing a 7/7 to try to get so many different cards in the hand, or might go try in with a 6 to get the leader effect and an 8 to go, but is going to opt for 7 at least on the Gorgon Sisters. This is going to force 2 cards out of hand, one being a card through leader effect and then another card on the counter. Chat, the Usopp is to be able to spam out vanilla characters, if you do not know, from EB02. It plays a character card with 6,000 power or less and no base effect. And so is going to go ahead and use leader effect on the Red Rock and use a 1K on the Usopp from EB02 to get out of that swing. Now this 7,000 power swing is going to have to fetch another card, which is going to be the 5-cost Nami right now. And so now what Boa has to do is think about how aggressive they want to do. Do they want to swing with their Boa blocker? And they opt not to. Now Nami going into their 7 Dawn turn. We could see at this point the 7-drop Robins start to come out onto the field. We've kept the 3 in hand. We've pitched off leader effect, all these other cards. And so it might be something that we try to utilize. Boa Hancock sitting at a 5,000 power leader, even though they have a 6,000 power blocker. With all these swings, may have to fetch a card. And so starts out with a 5,000 power swing, doesn't do anything first to potentially reveal what the game plan is at this point. Or I'm sorry, that Nami swinging 6,000 power. I was looking at the leader Nami, which looks very similar and is also partially yellow. But this Nami character, 6,000 power, is going to have to force a card out of hand, whether that's a block encounter or a counter out from the leader. And so is going to go with the 2K counter Shaku Yaku right here. Attaches 1 to lead, now swinging 6,000 power with leader. That means that a Nico Robin is not coming down onto the field this turn. Yo, what up, Minhootie? How are you, bud? I still got to read your Dofi guide. I'm so sorry. I was busy today. And so actually is going to go ahead and block and not counter. And because of Boa's leader effect of one of your Kuja Pirates of 5,000 power or more was KO'd, that block now forced Nami to take a life. One of the reasons that Boa is heralded as so strong in this format by many players. And so playing the 4 is going to go with that Usopp play. The Usopp play now playing down the vanilla character right here. I don't remember the name of this vanilla character. It's part of the Fire Tank Pirates. It is a 6,000 power 2K. Chat, I'm not that far in the anime. The combo going in for aggression, right? Playing down multiple characters that have the ability to swing in the coming turns. Now goes ahead with the Capone bait to try to find a Straw Hat Crew or Fire Tank Pirates. Ends up grabbing a 2K. And so leaving 1 Dawn open, maybe for this Blaze Slice, is going to pass off the turn. 6 cards in hand, 1 life remaining. And Boa now going in with their turn. Now going on the 8 Dawn turn, cannot play the 9-drop Boa Hancock. I know it's Capone Bage's wife. I just don't know her name. And so 8 Dawn to work with. What do you do at this point? If you had a 7-cost Robin on your own, might be able to work. The Silver's Rayleigh, not really going to work at this point. Because Silver's Rayleigh... Actually, no, Silver's Rayleigh would work. Because Silver's Rayleigh says if your opponent is at 3 or fewer life, you can KO a 7,000 power less. So maybe we see with 6 Dawn go in with the Rayleigh just to be able to remove one of these bodies off the field to minimize the amount of swings that are coming this turn. Chiffon, I knew it started with a chi. Chad, I don't know One Piece. I haven't seen One Piece. Yo, OP free lunch. What's good? How are you, friend? Chad, I'm only in Water 7 or Ennis Lobby. So I don't know. And so is going to go for a 4-cost Boa Hancock. Just get the blockers out onto the field, right? Remember that free block being something to where you can force your Nami opponent to take a life. Yo, what up, Marry Me? Getting that Dawn onto the Boa Hancock leader. Still has 4 Dawn to work with, I think. Still could use the Gorgon Sisters to be able to give more rested Dawn right. The Gorgon Sister trigger putting in so much work in this matchup, being able to get that additional Dawn onto your leader and different characters to be able to match Nami's 7,000 power. Definitely doing a great job within this matchup, in my opinion. Still has 4 active Dawn to work with. So is thinking about swinging 6,000 power with the Gorgon Sisters first, but goes with 7,000 power at the Nami. Is going to go ahead and use leader effect to pitch that Robin, gain 2,000 power. And the Blaze Slice is going to come in. The Blaze Slice, right, is going to give the power to get out of the swing, and the Boa Hancock blocker being rested as well. Definitely a beautiful counter to that blocker being put onto the field. And now, this Boa Hancock has to think about their next steps with still 4 active Dawn left, right? Blaze Slice, if your opponent is at 2 or less life, resting a 4-cost or less. Boa Hancock now at 2. Is going to attach 1 to swing 8 at lead at a 7,000 power leader. 2K Chopper getting out of that swing. And now we'll see how much he swings with the Gorgon Sisters. This is the top 16 round Minhootie. The Nico Robin does not have counter, chat. The Nami used leader effect. So she pitched a card from hand to be a 7k leader for the rest of the turn. And so is going to utilize that Gloriosa that came in OP14. Adds a card from the top or bottom of your life to your hand. And then you add a card from your hand to the top of your life, maybe setting up a potential play trigger, maybe setting up a trigger to KO a body. We'll see what they put in. Is thinking about the Gorgon Sisters and is going to go ahead put that in, right? That being that play trigger. Squash, I hope the UP Sanji gets on stream next round at least. And so Nami now going to 9 Dawn. We're still at only 9 Dawn right now, chat. A very quick game going on. Still 16 minutes left in this match before the timer goes off. Starts out with a 6,000 power swing at lead, right? With the nice 2K played off of that Usopp. Definitely going to be a couple swings coming in for this Boa Hancock. Not a lot of cards in hand for this Nami, though. Does have 2 2Ks and another card to be able to use off of leader effect. So are you afraid of dying? Maybe if there's a play trigger. So ends up going 2K, 1K to get out of that swing. Or I'm sorry, 2 1Ks actually. Use 2 1Ks to get out of this swing. Now we see another 6,000 power swing at lead. With the Nami is going to go ahead with the Gorgon Sisters, play it out onto the field. And because you played a character on your opponent's turn, drawing a card off of your leader effect, Nami now using her leader effect because life left from the field. Still has 9 Dawn in total. 2 more characters to swing with, most likely with the Usopp and the Nami. Could swing with the Capone Gang Beige. And starts out with another 6K swing at lead. Especially earlier in the turn, giving 2 1Ks on a 6K swing. Trying to bait out more cards with the Usopp swings, the 6K swings. So still has 8 Dawn left in total. Is going to 2K out of it with the Shaku Yaku. So now thinking about maybe attaching one Dawn, going with the Robin is going to start out with another 6,000 power swing at lead. 6,000 power swing, you could go down to 0 potentially. Maybe another play trigger potentially. Another play trigger would be huge here. But is going to go 2 1Ks to get out of that swing as well. With 7 Dawn left, more than likely going to be playing this Nico Robin onto the field. Nico Robin would be able to technically heal 1. It would switch 2 life cards. Right? Trashing the top card of your life and then putting 2 cards from the top of your deck into your life. So going from 1 life to 2, but completely switching that last card in your life. Would put you up to 2, so especially because you do have a fair amount of counter in hand, might be a nice way to be able to survive. Boa Hancock not necessarily playing Rush a lot of times, right? The 9-cost Boa not having Rush. And is going to go with that Nico Robin, as we talked about, the on-play. Trash the top card of your life and add the top 2 cards of your deck to your life. Is going to go ahead and pass off the turn. So we'll see if there's any potential triggers that could really impact this game, or maybe some counter to get out of this, especially in the face of so many swings potentially coming at him. If he wanted to play the 9-cost Boa now on his 10 Dawn turn, would be able to heal a life, and then through the Gorgon Sisters, go ahead and attach Dawn, rested Dawn everywhere, especially with 2 Gorgon Sisters out onto the field, chat. Could potentially reutilize so much of this Dawn. Could actually reutilize all 9 of the Dawn if he were to play the 9-cost Boa on this turn. Definitely a tight game right now, chat. Anybody's game with about 12 minutes left remaining in the round. This was exciting. This has been an exciting one, especially with Blue-Yellow Nami, right? A version of this deck that not a lot of people have played up to this point, with all these vanilla characters in the deck and the Usopp. Not sure what his hand looks like with the Gorgon Sisters, and goes ahead and attaches 2 Dawn. So now a 7,000 power lead is going to force that leader effect, right? Pitching the Robin and a 1K. Still has 2 2Ks in hand. Another 7K swing. Going to force another card in the hand. That's a lot of copies of Boa, Cool Crash. That's crazy. Does he not have 3 cards in hand to reveal? I don't know. I can't see his hand. He's covering it up. It is Dr. Pancake. I don't even really know how many cards he has in hand. Is going to 2K to get out of that first swing. Still has to hit 3 times. Swing 7,000 power with the Nami. I think hoping that this last card in hand is not a counter card. If he gets out of 1 swing, I think Nami feeling pretty safe about this game. And so is going to take this life to start. Is going to put it in hand. It's a 1K counter Nami. No trigger. Could swing 8-8 in the final here. Is going to go 8,000 power with the Boa. Just a 2K getting out of this. Takes this life a potential trigger, but no. And the 8,000 power swing is just going to be a 2K because the Nami leader is 7,000 power, passing off the turn. No blockers out on the field. Only 3 cards in hand. 2 of them at least not having any encounter. Looks like Nami going to be making it to the top 8 of this championship, taking down Boa Hancock, right? The new blue-yellow leader that got a lot of hype out of everyone. Satori 2K to get out of that 6K swing. The 7K swing taking the life is going to be a perfumer of drawing one card. Nami now using her leader effect to draw one card, but everything now on Robin, not going to be able to get out of it. All three Boas. Oops, all Boa. Nami moving in with the vanilla method, chat. You love to see it. You love to see it. Yo, what up, Denny? Hey, Denny. Hopefully you saw that. That's interesting, chat. Not going to use the Usopp. He just won the game because he used the Usopp. What do you mean? Oh, you mean not going to use the Usopp with the final swing? Boa rose because the Boa Hancock got revealed, and it's pretty much it is a staple in the deck. And since Boa is a good deck, obviously people are going to buy it out, you know. Yeah, the Chiffon worked. It was awesome. Hola, Solid. How are you today? For the YouTube video, right, not the live stream, chat, for the live stream, I'm still going to be here as they're showing off these Starter Deck 29 cards. If you're watching the YouTube video, we will have the later rounds up on the channel, so please subscribe or consider subscribing to get those up. Anyways, for the live stream, though, chat, whether you're on Twitch or YouTube, you're stuck with me. So if you're like Lord Hello, Amandine, Kirogawas, and Zoop Lord, and Shazy, you're stuck. You're stuck. Chat, if you're liking the YouTube stream, please subscribe as well. We hit 21,000, chat, on the stream. Pretty cool. Yeah, I think Zoro just struggles to keep up with the new decks in the format. Yeah, I think Mihawk and Ace, or not Ace, because Ace loses to doesn't Ace lose to Zoro? I think it's Boa and Mihawk that make it tough. Oh, Chad, look at these. So in the starter deck, chat, we are going to have alternate arts. The leader being whiteout, but the Zoro and different characters are going to be full art characters. Very cool. Excuse me, chat, just going to paint so I can tweet this. Nice. So we did get some reveals technically in this stream. Wow, there it is. Look at that, chat. Oh, that's beautiful holo foiling, by the way. Very cool. Chat, W or L? W or L? Oh, that looks so good. Chat, I can't wait to have this starter deck. White man jump scare. Yeah, I think it's going to be... Oh, wait, random decks it'll be alts? Is it going to be random decks? No shot, chat. Actually, that's a huge L. No. Keep doing the packs. Don't make it a full alt-out starter deck. What? No, I love the monochrome. I love the monochrome. I like that the leader is monochrome, and I like that the other alts are these full arts. Buggy supremacy. Man, you better keep believing then, because he needs more believing. You think it'll be packs? I don't know if it's going to be packs or like a full deck, chat. I don't know. I know that other Bandai card games like Union Arena have them in the starter deck, a chance for it. But obviously One Piece is different. So this releases in Japan on December 20th. Trying to write it down on my calendar. Interesting. So that's not going to be legal for the Osaka Championships. It's confirmed to be in the packs. Okay, cool. Thank you, Roundstar. Is Buggy viable if Zoro is pushed out of the meta? No, because Zoro's not really in the meta right now, and Buggy still sucks. So no. Zoro being out of the meta would not help Buggy. I mean, it does technically, I think, but not enough. Buggy needs way more help than that. No, I don't think so either, Pancake. I feel like they would have done it already if that was the case, and they haven't done it yet, so I don't think they'll do it. Every time there was a yellow ST Luffy deck, the leader had a white... Oh, you'd have 2 nickels? Yeah, that's right, because Black Yellow Luffy had one too. That was cool. Paper Diamond, I like the new Animal Kingdom Pirates cards. I think the King is crazy good. Buggy slander will always be funny. Buggy got power crept. Well, power crept is a strong way to put it because Buggy was never good in the first place. You know, so can you really get power crept if you were bad right out of the gate? Let's be real here, chat. So above and below, why don't people play UA? This is me personally. I played UA a lot when the game first came out. And I chat, for anyone who doesn't know, it's here on the channel. You can check out the past live streams. The first Union Arena tournament that had more than like 50 players, right? In terms of like a real community event, the Eggman tournament, I ended up winning Union Arena. But very soon after that, I stopped playing Union Arena because I don't really like some of the mechanics in the game. The game really came down to, in my opinion, if you have a special trigger in life, right, to be able to KO one of your opponent's characters, and especially with some of the interactions, like it just kind of felt like you were playing like not a cohesive game, right? Like everybody's playing a different game. I don't know. Like in One Piece, everybody feels like they're playing One Piece. But in Union Arena, it's like you're playing Purple Bleach, that game, or you're playing Code Geass, or you're playing Rurouni Kenshin, or you're playing Demon Slayer. So personally, for me, I don't really aspire to play Union Arena again, overly competitively, because I just don't enjoy the game as much. The life mechanic in the game, I think, sucks. I really think it does. But I know a lot of people that really enjoy the game. I have a good friend here in Vegas that has topped like multiple regionals. She puts a ton of time into the game. She loves the game, right? It's just not my cup of tea. Hello, Red Black Sabo. Sabo didn't make this top cut, chat. Very sad. Very sad. Do you think One Piece cards will be like Pokemon cards? It's really tough because like One Piece is not going to last forever, right? Pokemon, in theory, because of how it is designed, can last forever. But One Piece is not like that, right? I mean, the journey is going to end. eventually, right? So I don't know. I mean, it just depends on how relevant One Piece stays in people's minds. I think that's going to depend on like the value of cards for decades, right? I don't know. I mean, because Pokemon continues to release new things, and so does One Piece right now. But what happens when One Piece ends, right? That's my thing. But I don't know. I'm not you should not go to me for like investing stuff. I don't know. Yo, what up, Lancelot? How are you? Yeah, some of the UA cards are great. Like, I've opened up bleach boxes for dirt cheap, and the alts are beautiful. I love that. I don't know what you mean, Cool Crash. It's going to be One Piece style Boruto. Too big of a cash cow to let go. I mean, it really all depends if Oda allows it, right? Because doesn't Oda have the say? I mean, it's his IP. I wonder if like Shonen Jump has the say to do it, right? I think Jinbei's good, Patronos. I think Jinbei's a good deck. He's like the new hyper aggro deck. When One Piece ends, they can make Morgan and Wapple leaders. I know. I wish we had a Kuma leader. That'd be so good. I will say, though, Trafalgar Law is very popular as a character. Two-piece anime confirmed. Yeah, the sequel, chat. Did you guys hear about the sequel that got announced to One Piece? It's called Two Piece. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna Fruit Fly. I mean, that's a good point. Like, we have different movies, live action. We apparently have that Wit Studio remake as well. Have we heard about the Wit Studio remake since they announced it like 2 years ago? They could do a prequel on Adventures with like Roger's Pirates, yeah. No, don't think of it like that, Crash. I mean, think of like you dominated with Zoro now because Zoro was a good pick now. That was a good call. You played it very well. You know? Don't think about the future. Don't think about OP14 if you're playing in more treasure cups, that is. Oh, Shueisha. Yeah, that. I wonder how much say they have. Marco, the tournament already started. We already broadcasted a round. We're waiting for the top 8 round now. I have no idea how long it'll be. So we're just waiting. But that round did end pretty fast. So, I don't know. They just turned down the audio, so the next round should be starting here in a second. Chad, I didn't know about One Piece until I started playing the trading card game. Fun fact. I didn't know anything about One Piece before I started playing the game. All right, top 8, chat. Here we go. What's in the deck distribution? We've got 2 Mihawks and a bunch of ones, chat. 2 Dracula Mihawk, green Mihawks in the top 8. 1 ace. There were 4 ace in this top cut and 3 emus, but now we're down to 1 each in this tournament. 1 purple Doflamingo, 1 blue yellow Nami, the blue purple Luffy won, and the Jinbei also won. Very cool, chat. I think Jinbei is going to be pretty cheap to build, yeah. Oh, has Wit done small updates recently? I didn't know that. I feel like I haven't heard of that at all. Yeah, so look, chat. Top 16 had 4 ace and 3 emu. Now there's only 1 ace and 1 emu left. Absolutely crazy. I know the UP Sanji died, chat. Very sad, very sad. No Sanji. Not really above and beyond. I know how to read the names. I am not fluent in Japanese at all. I just have the bare minimum to be able to read the names. That's it. That's pretty much it in my Japanese. I hope they show Doflamingo this round, chat. Please show Dofi. Come on. Please show Dofi. I don't think you need to play the promo Arlongs. I think that's I don't think you need to play it. It's a good card, don't get me wrong, but I don't know, cuz like if you watch my YouTube video, there are people that play more geared to a cost 3 or less style deck because of stuff like Shirahoshi, but there are plenty of other lists that don't do that are successful. UP Luffy versus Dofi? What are you talking about, Kraken? I want to see Doflamingo so bad. Yeah, UP Luffy. Lord, hello. I've said it in my YouTube videos. UP Luffy's still a good deck. Especially with the promo Roger, right? If you saw last week's championship. But on top of that, in EBO3, he got some cards in EBO3 that he can play with, like the 7-drop Lin. That's pretty good. Mr. Toxic, there's the event today that's going on right now, and then there's something happening tomorrow, but I don't know exactly what it is. I don't know if it's another tournament similar to this one, but there's something happening tomorrow. Yeah, the top 8 scorned. There are 2 Dracula Mihawks, 1 Ace, 1 Emu, 1 Purple Doflamingo, 1 Blue-Yellow Nami, 1 Blue-Purple Luffy, and 1 Blue Jinbei. Grand Line. I've heard of Grand Line Review before. I need to watch some of his videos, Dr. Pancake, but not spoiler ones. I don't want to get spoiled. I really wonder what this bracket looks like. Of course, Scorned. I hope you're having a good day. Thanks for coming in. Also, Rami, thank you so much for following on Twitch. Appreciate it. I'm curious, Grass Dog. I'm curious in 3 weeks when the Osaka championships happen. I'm really curious on what this meta is going to look like. Oh, he's got a lot of spoilery thumbnails. I don't want to get spoiled, chat. Chat, I'm trying to watch the anime and not get spoiled on anything. And the One Piece card game doesn't help. They spoil a couple things. Like, I know Gear 5 exists. I know character names. I don't really know a lot of plot points, though. Like Ennis Lobby. I just found out who Soga King was. That was pretty funny. They keep saying Doflamingo in here. Chat, it looks like we're going to be watching the Emu match. So, Emu, the best deck, in my opinion, in the OP13 format. Back again in OP14, but the last Emu in top cut of this championship. Emu did get a boost in OP14, gaining the new Ground Death event, right? That was meant for the Baroque Works. As a one-cost event, you can play it in this deck because you can only play one-cost events, one-cost and zero-cost events in the deck. Gonna be curious. Gonna be going up against Purple Doflamingo. Chad, this is my favorite deck in this format. I am so excited to see this guy played and see what his leader is all about and this deck. If you do not know, Don Quixote Doflamingo, one of the new leaders in OP14. On opponent's attack once per turn, you don -1. And if you do, you choose your leader or one of your Don Quixote Pirates type characters and you change the target of said attack to the chosen card. So Emu going first in this match, Doflamingo getting the even curve. Looks like he's got a little bit of searching in this deck as well in this starting hand. So can't be too awful, I feel like. And so we got Emu starting out in this one. Emu's hand does not look that good. Chad, this might be a bad time for the Emu. No searching whatsoever, but you do, saving grace-wise, have the Jupiter. You've got the Marcus Mars, right, to be able to do some things. Got the Originally It Wasn't There event, right? You've also got 2Ks in Shirahoshi and the Saint Josgard. So you got some things in this hand, but no searching. You're going to have to really depend on your leader effect to be able to move around and be able to get your stuff going in this deck. I'm really curious about this matchup, Marry Me. I'm so curious. Doflamingo's hand has a fair bit of searching in it, right? Has that Dellinger, that one-cost Dellinger that's so good in this deck, but also on top of that has the I Can Never Forgive Anyone Who Laughs at My Family event card, right? A nice top 3 searcher. Also has a couple baby 5s, right? One being a 2K and the other one being the on KO Heal a Life card, as well as a Virgo in the hand. Nice 5-cost Virgo. Virgo probably going to be pretty good in this matchup, right? Because Virgo having that once per turn protection effect to protect Don Quixote Pirates type characters from being removed from the field could don -1 against something like Marcus Mars. So now we've got the Emu starting out first, using his leader effect to get rid of the Josgard. Is going to draw into a Ground Death. So Ground Death going to be a nice card, but that's not searching. So Doflamingo now going into this turn does find a Monet on the top. Is thinking about using the Searcher event to start out in this. May just go Searcher event into Dellinger for this. Finds a 5-cost Rosinante, right? And a couple repeat cards that he already has in hand, but is kind of favoring the Rosinante. Rosinante, especially because these Don Quixote decks are starting to get more and more events than what we originally thought they would. Rosinante is going to be really nice to be able to draw cards, filter out the hand a little bit to help find some other key pieces. The Dellinger is going to be really good for later turns on the swings to be able to look again in the deck. And so starting out with leader effect on the 1-drop event, does finally find a Shalria to be able to go ahead, do some milling. Now finds the first 10-cost Elder. So is thinking a little bit about the Nuzjuro or the 10-cost Elder to be able to grab and put into the hand. Is going to go ahead for the 10-cost Elder and now trashing the Ground Death off of the Shalria effect. Now swinging 5,000 power at lead. Could maybe do something like Shirahoshi if they don't counter out of this potentially, but didn't have 6 cards in hand. Dofi utilizing his leader effect to KO the Dellinger, and the KO effect on the Dellinger. If you do not know what makes this deck so interesting, you have to don -1 to redirect the attack of the Dellinger, but Dellinger adds 1 Dawn from your Dawn deck as rested once it is KO'd, and then looking at the top 5, finds a Doflamingo. So this is the combo that Doflamingo loves to utilize in this game. Plays the 8-drop Doflamingo into something like the 5-drop Rosinante or Monet, plenty of different options. And so starts out with a 4,000 or 5,000 power at lead. Emu takes the first life. Is going to go ahead, I think, with the baby 5 in the hand. The baby 5 on play is going to ramp 1 Dawn as active to put him at 5 Dawn in the turn and leave 1 up. And has an on KO effect of Dawn -1 to heal a life if it's KO'd. So we'll see if this Emu, after doing the leader effect on the Shalria, is going to go ahead and potentially KO or swing to maybe KO this baby 5. Doflamingo having a pretty good start. Emu on this Shalria still is missing a Saturn. Has not found the Saturn or Warcury yet at this point. Is going to grab the Nezuro off of the Shalria search. And now pitches the Equilibrium event to end the Shalria effect. Is sitting at 5 Dawn in total, so can't play Marcus Mars right now. Is going to swing 5,000 power at lead. We'll see if he uses leader effect, but no, is just going to take this first one and a potential trigger. One of the only triggers that a lot of these Doflamingos play is slow beam. Noro slow beam is going to be able to put a Dawn from your Dawn deck as active to go to 6. Now Doflamingo is going to go to 8 into his next turn to play a Doflamingo Rosinante combo on the field and be able to get 2 bodies out and some draw support. Definitely a strong trigger right there from the Doflamingo. And so Emu now doing their searching, doing their effects of the Shalria, still does not find a Warcury or a Saturn at this point. Has found just about dang near every single Jupiter, Marcus Mars, and Nezuro, but just has to pass with 2 Dawn open. And so Doflamingo now swinging 5,000 power at lead just to start off. We know that the Doflamingo is in the hand, so counters out of that one. Resting all 8 for Don Quixote Doflamingo, playing him down on the field. The Dawn -1 to play out a 5 cost or less. Ends up going with Virgo, and I really like this Virgo play actually instead of Rosinante. I talked about earlier how Marcus Mars, right, is countered a little bit by Virgo. This Virgo is going to be able to supply the protection on these characters for in the future, right? Next turn, he can play the 5 cost Rosinante, cycle the deck a little bit, have that 5 cost on the field, and once again, he's protected by the Virgo. Definitely such a good spot. We also see the 10-drop Doflamingo in the Doflamingo's hand, right? Can't play it the next turn because he is now at 7 Dawn, right? Is going to be going to 9, but is still going to be in a good spot. That ground 0 going to be able to negate the effect of a 5 cost on the field. Now the Marcus Mars coming in with the empty throne event, pitching the Nezuro, getting rid of him. You kind of like seeing that, I think, if you're the Doflamingo. He had to give a lot up for that. A 3-card combo just to get rid of that Virgo. You hate seeing him go, but it's all in good, I think, at this point. I still think you're in a pretty decent spot right now. And so passing off the turn, drawing 1 after getting that treble, I think it was, off of life, does have a Divine Departure in here. Divine Departure is something that a lot of Doflamingos are running, as we've seen in the first week of the meta. Sitting at 9 Dawn, you can't play the 10-drop Doflamingo at this point. But you could go ahead, maybe do a little bit of setup with something like Monet, right? Monet would be able to ramp 1 Dawn. Also having an on-KO effect of drawing cards and re-ramping Dawn could be nice. So starts out with 5,000 power at lead. The Emu finally having a Warcury in the hand. Only having 4 cards, is running low at this point. Is going to go ahead, take the life, put it in the hand. Don Quixote Doflamingo going to be a 9,000 power swing at lead. So has to think about if he wants to go ahead, block with Marcus Mars to get out of the swing, maybe. If you keep the Marcus Mars on field, though, you are going to be able to have multiple swings at lead. but does not want to go down to 1 or give up 2 cards in hand now that he has 2 5-cost Elders. The Doflamingo 4/5 is going to play the Monet to ramp 1 Dawn, has 5 Dawn left as active. Just go with a double play of 5 drops onto the field. And now thinking about if he wants to get rid of Divine Departure or the Slow Beam. Slow Beam could be very good in the end game for when Emu has a couple blockers on the field right from the 10 cost with the War Curie and the Marcus Mars. Could be able to rest and get around one of them. And so pitches the Divine Departure to be able to draw 2 cards. Finds a good amount of counter, I think, in there as well. And with the end of turn, is going to restand 2 Dawn as active with the Rosinante effect. Perfect for the Slow Beam Sword. Emu now sitting at 8 Dawn at this point. Doflamingo, because of the triggers and the effective ramping, has basically skipped Emu on a turn in terms of their Dawn. Still can't play the 10 cost down on the field. May go ahead and play the War Curie, but especially with 2 Dawn as active, does he have a slow beam in hand? Is that something that you're worried about at this point? Seems like they have about 20 to 21 cards in the trash, so the Empty Throne is going to give him plus 1,000 power. Doflamingo still at 3 life, about 5 or 6 cards in hand at this point. Use the leader effect on the Shaoria to get it off the field. Yeah, the ramp in this game from Dofi is crazy. So good, in my opinion. No, I don't think you run Magellan in this deck, Lord. I don't think you would. I think this deck is just so good running pure, like, Doflamingo Pirates. Maybe Uso Hachis, if anything. And so is thinking about just attaching a ton of Dawn into leader and going ahead with some big swings. So now goes 8,000 power, it looks like. So swinging 9,000 power because of the plus 1,003 Dawn. Is going to go ahead and redirect the attack at the leader, I think. Now using the Doflamingo effect to re-ramp the Dawn. Is going to go ahead take the life. So did not want to go down to that baby 5. Is going to go with the War Curie, leaving 3 Dawn as active. Interesting not going into the baby 5 in my opinion. Especially because the baby 5 would Dawn -1. You would still be at 10 Dawn, right? With the on KO effect and even healing a life. But wanted more cards in hand. They'll release the top deck list after the tournament. And I'll post it in our Discord server chat. So if you want to join our Discord server on Twitch, do !Discord, and on YouTube, you can join in the description down below. I'll post the deck list in there. So Doflamingo at this point, do you go with the 10 drop right now? Or do you maybe save the 10 drop for a different turn? I feel like 10 drop wouldn't be a bad idea right now as we start off with a 6,000 power swing out lead, a 2K getting out of that one. Still has the Rosinante and 2 Doflamingo characters to swing with. Is going to start off with the Rosinante, another 6,000 power swing. It's another card out of hand, whether it's a counter event, whether that's the Shirahoshi, maybe blocking with the War Curie, but goes with that 2K. So only counter events and 10 cost Elders left in the hand. We still haven't seen a Saturn yet, I don't think, right? Am I crazy, chat? Still no Saturn? So is going to start out with 1 for Sugar. So no 10 drop Dofi on this turn. Is going to go with a Sugar. Maybe trying to find another 8 cost Doflamingo. Does not find an 8 cost Doflamingo. So does have a couple different options of what they can grab. Does find 2 different Sugars. Maybe a 2K Treble. Or a 5 cost Rosinante. I think we see a Dellinger in there as well. and is eyeing up the OP14 4-cost Sugar. Now, this is a card that not everybody plays in the Doflamingo deck, but with that on play of ramping a Dawn and an on KO of being able to play a 5-cost from the hand onto the field, a great way to recur Dawn. Especially with that on KO effect, does not have to Dawn minus. So starts now with a 5,000 power bear swing with leader. I mean, if this Emu doesn't find a Saturn on this upcoming turn, if he doesn't have one in trash, I don't think he has one in trash. He's in trouble. So is going to take the 5,000 power swing, finds the Mary Joie stage, which does not matter at this point. The best thing about that is it's an easy card to trash off your leader effect or the 5-drop or the 5-cost Elders. Or the 10-drop Elders. Dofi has a lot of counter in hand and even some counter events. Is going to go with a baby 5 swing potentially? Is maybe just going to attach 4 Dawn, swing another 5,000 power with Baby 5, and he is. Baby 5 being a 1,000 power character is tossing hands now at this point. And so is going to use one for the originally it was never there event or never existed event. Plus 4,000 counter. Definitely like seeing that, I think, if you're the Doflamingo, right? Using that on a 5,000 power swing. Still 1 life left for the Emu. Fair amount of counter in hand for Dofi. Still has 4 Dawn left to work with. Now the 9,000 power swing at lead is going to block with the War Curie to draw 1 card, right? Does not want to give up a life or 2 cards. A Marcus Mars, that's not a Saturn. And so is thinking about playing that 4-cost Sugar that I mentioned earlier. Setting up 1 Dawn as active. Couldn't do that because you didn't have any Dawn from your Dawn deck, but Rosinante now picking up 2 Dawn. Emu now going into their first 10 Dawn turn. Do they have a Saturn off the draw? It's a Saturn off the top of the deck, chat. They always have it. They always have it, chat. They always top deck it. How many times have we seen in these championships they top deck it? It's been at least 3 times in the last 2 tournaments, including this one. And so now that he finds a Saturn, could go ahead with the leader effect, pitch the Saturn, or utilize the 10 cost to get rid of it, put it in the trash to be able to get it on the field and get the game plan going. He's very behind in this game, in my personal opinion, and it's going to take a lot of work to be able to get out of this. But he plays the Saturn. And so with the Saturn, this also works as well because you hard played the Saturn onto the field to be able to get a search. Is maybe thinking about grabbing another Saturn. You only need 3 Dawn from the empty throne and a 4th Dawn to be able to utilize the 10 cost Elders. And so uses leader effect immediately to draw 1 card as well as getting that Saturn, refilling the hand a little bit. The empty throne now putting down the 10 cost Elder, resting 1 more Dawn and trashing the Mary Joie to be able to use the effect. Get the 5-cost Elder, the 5 Elders on the field, not the 5-cost Elders, only none of them actually cost 5, if my memory is correct. War Curie, Saturn, Mars, Nuzjuro, and Jupiter. Now going with the Saturn effect to find a card. Is maybe eyeing up the Equilibrium of right. Is going to go ahead, grab that, put it in the hand. You still have the Nuzjuro swing to be able to try to get somebody off the field. You know that one of your attacks is going to be utilized with leader effects. It's all a matter of, at that point, which one is it going to be? And so Marcus Mars now going to KO the Rosinante. Doflamingo got to populate this board with more bodies. So with this Nuzjuro swing, slow beam, sword could rest one of these blockers on the field. And so swinging now at the Monet. This Monet's, I think, minus 2,000 power as well, so it's going to be a 4,000 power character on the field. So now as Dofi, you got to think about if you redirect, is it at the Sugar or the Baby 5? There are benefits to both sides, right? With Sugar, you're able to play out this Monet in your hand. With Baby 5, you're able to heal a life. The slow beam sword wouldn't be able to get out of the attack, though. As Nuzjuro swings 7,000 power. Would have to be a 2K to get out of the swing, which you do have in hand. Still 12 minutes left in this match. Anybody's game. Soulso Beam Sword as well. Doing a Dawn minus on the counter event. So you would be -2 with the leader effect. And so is going to go Dawn -1 and get the Sugar to start out. And so is going to go ahead, let this Sugar get KO'd, I think, right? Is going to KO the Sugar, play out a 5-cost Don Quixote Pirates type character through the on-KO effect, which is more than likely the Monet. Getting that on the field, on play, ramping 1 Dawn as active. And now the 6,000 power swing at the Monet is a 6,000 power swing to a 4,000 power swing. Could just be a slow beam sword, and 1 more card to get out of the swing. Would still have plenty of swings, and here we go. 2 for the slow beam sword. Right? You're playing it down? Is going to go ahead and rest one of these blockers. The War Curie would be one of the best to get rid of. And so is going to go ahead and rest that guy to prevent the on-KO. Draw 1 card. Dellinger counters out of the swing, passing off the turn. Doflamingo now. 1 blocker standing in his way. Just has to hit 2 times. Still 2 Dawn active right now. Does have an Usohachi. Usohachi off the top of the deck would be able to rest a 5-cost or less, but Marcus Mars is a 6-cost or less. So can't utilize him to get out of this. Could go in with a turn potentially of 10-drop Doflamingo, but starts out with 9. The 9 is going to go ahead with the Marcus Mars, get the block. The 10-drop Doflamingo, remember, can say that up to 3 characters with a cost of 7 or less would not be able to be rested till the end of your opponent's next turn. The 6,000 power swing, getting Jupiter out of the hand from the Monet. The Doflamingo would be able to stun 3 characters, being something like Nuzjuro, Saturn, War Curie, to prevent a minimal amount of swings coming at you in the next turn. Yo, thank you, Say Nai. Can the Elders not get hit by the 10-drop Dofi, chat? No, the Elders can get hit, chat. They can get hit. They just can't be KO'd. And so now with the other Monet swing, is going to equilibrium attack out of that one, going up to 8,000 power. Can you go in? It's very scary. Can you go in with Baby 5 and Leader? I think it would definitely be a gamble on whether or not you think he has another counter event in hand. And I don't think would be a good idea at this point. I think the best thing you can do right now, maybe play the 10 cost onto the field, establish this huge body, try to survive right now. being able to stun so many characters. Starts out with the 5,000 power swing. Looks like it is going to be it as a Saturn hits the bench. And now 10 cost Doflamingo, the boss monster of the deck, is going to don -3. And more than likely say that 3 characters of a cost of 7 or less on the Emu side is not going to be able to attack. It looks like it's going to be Nuzjuro, Jupiter, and Saturn. This is going to be a great way to be able to minimize the amount of swings coming at you and these characters on this turn. If Emu tries to go into a starve method, is going to use leader effect to start out on the Saturn to draw 1 card. It's a 10 cost Elder. There's not a lot of counter in the hand, chat. As soon as he plays the 10 cost Elders, chat, and refreshes the 5 Elders on the field, Nuzjuro would be able to attack, right? Because as he leaves the field of play from the 10 cost Elder trashing all the characters on field, and then loses that effect that the 10 cost Doflamingo placed on him, and as he comes back out onto the field, he is refreshed. He is anew, right? He's considered basically a new character within the board state. They can't be KO'd, but they can be frozen. So Emu now trying to think of what the correct line is. Gotta get rid of some of these characters on the field. The Warcurry is going to be 7,000 powered. It looks like he's swinging at lead right now. You still can do the Dawn minus to be able to KO or redirect an attack on one of these characters. So now the Empty Throne, after taking that life, is going to go ahead with the 10 cost Elders, play out KO, or get rid of that 10 cost to be able to refresh your Elders, put them out onto the field. So maximizing the amount of counter in hand on this turn, right? Marcus Mars is going to be able to KO one of these Monets, but if he does KO one of the Monets, Monet is going to be able to draw 2, trash 1 on the on KO effect, and then add 2 cards from your Dawn deck as rested, allowing the Doflamingo potentially in the next turn to chain another 10-drop Dofi. It's all going to be about who he decides to KO on this Marcus Mars, if anything at this point. Emu, not having very many cards in hand, doesn't even want to KO anything right now. Don't spoil anything, Davio, in the JJK movie, but I hope you liked it. I'm glad you liked it. Ends up grabbing the Equilibrium event, puts it in the hand, has 3 counter events in hand to be able to utilize. Can swing with Nuzjuro and also the Emu leader, but is not going to go for Marcus Mars. Nuzjuro might be swinging at lead right now. A tricky spot, I feel like, in this game. So sounds like he's swinging at leader and is going to minus the Monet. So 7,000 power going at leader right now. You can get out of one of these attacks. Maybe trying to bait for game at this point. Is going to go ahead, grab another Divine Departure. We have so much counter in the hand right now, actually. Saving the Usohachi potentially to utilize and rest this Warcurry. Is going to attach 1. Not going to fall for the bait. Just a 7,000 power at lead. And so is just going to be a Divine Departure to get out of that swing. Would have to pitch another card in hand. Come on, Dofi. You can do it. I want Dofi to win this game so bad, chat. Is going to go ahead with the Divine Departure, getting rid of the other Divine Departure to get out of that swing. Interesting, getting rid of the Divine Departures. Now is going to go to 9 Dawn, chat. 9 Dawn in the draw for turn. Got to be thinking about this Usohachi, right, to get out of this Warcury block. Got to hit 3 times, leaving a couple Dawn up, and you know how he has at least one counter event in hand. 2.5 minutes left in this game. 2.5 minutes left in this game. Is going to rest 3 for the Usohachi. He is going all in at this point. He has to. Maybe not doing it. Is he not? Now you've just revealed that you have Usohachi in hand, right? He does not have a 10 cost Dofi in hand, and I think, honestly, he just has to win the game now. I think he has to win the game. I think your best play is Usohachi and just slam him. Just try to figure out what the best numbers are. I feel like, no, you have to play Usohachi first, right? You cannot let him draw 1 card. Why are you swinging first? Don't swing first, dude. Dude, just play Usohachi. Do you want to play Usohachi first, or do you want to swing first? You want to play Usohachi, right? Because Usohachi only hits the Warcury. Like, if I'm the Emu right now, I am blocking right away with the Warcury. Less than a minute left until overtime, chat. Is going to swing 6,000 power at first. Now the Warcury comes out. And so now you lose out on your Usohachi. And so now you have to swing through with these 4 characters. The Equilibrium getting out of the first swing. 3 swings left. Potentially 4 with Baby 5. 9,000 power at lead. The 9,000 power at lead is going to go ahead, take the life. It's a searcher event. What do you find? Finds a 2K. The Doflamingo 10 drop being a 10,000 power character. Is going to be 10,000 power as we hit overtime. I think this game will end before overtime ends. It couldn't have been. What, chat? Somebody give me some good reasoning of not playing Usohachi first. Chat, give me a good reason. Don't just say that he's trolling. Somebody give me a reason why you would not play Usohachi first. Is your, like, the only reasoning that I can think of is trying to hit with Baby 5, right? The only thing that I can think of is that you're just trying to hit with Baby 5. Chat, stop saying that he sold it. Shut up. Try to be productive. Saving 3 Dawn. Now swings 11,000 power at Doflamingo, right? You know that he has the 2K in hand. So now with an 11,000 power at swing, if he does have the 4,000 power counter event, he's going to be able to not only have to use that and the 2K, but he's going to have to utilize another card too. So just goes ahead and goes Marcus Mars. And so goes all in at lead. Just 2 counter events to get out of it. And the 2K is going to be the math to get out of it. Now Emu going to be swinging in with the 3 characters in hand. And the Emu still has the ability to redirect one of the attacks, right? Baby 5 on KO will heal a life We have to think about that. You have to think about that as you're going for game right now, chat. We have so many 2Ks in hand. And so swings now, he's going for board. Is going to redirect the Nuzjuro attack to KO the baby 5. Now the Dawn -1, going to be healing 1. Is going to use leader effect, maybe trying to find another Nuzjuro. Still has 8 Dawn left to work with, 3 swings. Can he get there? He has to hit twice. 9,000 power add lead. Is there a way he can get out of this? Doflamingo definitely having more cards in deck than the Emu. Just thinking about how many. I think all the Nuzjuros are in trash, right? At least 3 of them. I feel like if you weren't going to swing with the baby 5, though, you play the Usohachi, right? I don't know what the right play is, chat. Yeah, I think he wanted to save the 2K for this like exact situation. Ends up taking the 9,000 power swing, finds another 2K in the hand. In the treble, a 7,000 power swing, 2 2Ks. Getting out of it. But now the attachment, 4 2Ks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Holy moly, chat. Doflamingo having the exact counter because of the 2Ks in life from the heal on the baby 5. And I think because of the overtime rules and Dofi having more cards in deck, or maybe the Emu just immediately scooped afterwards. Holy moly, chat. What a game. Yes, saving the 2Ks until the very end. The Usohachi actually mattering. Yeah, chat. That's why I told you to shut up. Chat, you're pretty. Stop talking. Just kidding. No, you guys are wonderful. You guys are beautiful. But please don't be toxic and say that players are throwing. Please don't do that. I mean, he won that game because he got treble off of life. Yeah, I think he won that game because he got treble in life. Although, did he ever pitch he pitched the sugar on the one swing, right? The first swing? Yeah, it was this swing, right? He went 2K, 1K with the sugar. And then he just, bam. That was crazy. That was insane. Holy moly. Chat, if you're enjoying the stream, make sure to please subscribe over on YouTube or follow on Twitch. If you play Usopp, it costs you 3 Dawn. He needed to draw an event from Workery effect to make it matter. Otherwise, attaching 3 Dawn is better. Yeah, like I could see how attaching the 3 Dawn is just better. I don't know. I think they're about to show the top 4, Denny. Kev, I literally just said stop being toxic. I literally just said stop being toxic. Chat, stop being toxic. Chat, you can talk about how you don't... No, Denny, you're good. You're good. I was talking about somebody in YouTube chat. Chat, you can say that you disagree with the play, but stop acting like you're better than these people. Chat, 99% of you just sit in your mother's basement and go 2-2 at every locals, while these people are top 4 at a championship. Let's try to have an intellectual conversation about why he would make that play, right? Yeah, we have the hindsight because we see both hands. But I could see how maybe he didn't expect all those counter events in the hand. He only knew the equilibrium, right? Oh, I'll go to the final board state, by the way. So this was the final board state, chat. Don't think about, we only know one card in the Emu's hand. It's the equilibrium event. The other two, I don't remember if we knew about. But we know about the 1-cost equilibrium event. And there's 1 life. He's left 5 Dawn open. The ground death chat event could have been there as well, right? Emu now has ground death, so you have to think about that on your swings. And so what's the difference between Usohachi on 9 Dawn to only have 6 left? What's the difference between Usohachi and letting him draw that card? Simon, the thing is, if you guys are going to be rude, I'm going to be rude back to you. Simon, this is my career to do this. All right, chat, top 4. Chat, so we know the Doflamingo is on top 4. The blue-purple Luffy also making it in top 4. And then the final 2 decks left are Jinbei and Ace. The top 4, chat, Ace, 1 Ace left. We've got Jinbei, blue-purple Luffy, and purple Doflamingo. That's pretty crazy. I wasn't hating on Dofi. That's why I go X1 at locals. Yeah, the Mihawks not winning this one. Yeah, I mean, because he kept the baby 5 on the field, he got to heal. So, like, I don't know if it's the correct play, but I can see a reason why you would not only want to keep the 3 Dawn to be able to go aggressive since we don't know the Emu's hand, and you value the heal. I don't know if it's incorrect, but it doesn't seem like in hindsight, right, 2020 vision, it doesn't seem like that bad of an idea. Yeah, I think he just valued the heal. Simple as that. Fraud Hawk. Boa did make top 16, though. Boa did make top 16. I really like that this top 4 is 4 different leaders. Makes me very excited. I think they just said, chat, that the Jinbei beat a Mihawk. Correct plays to go for board at the end. Are you talking about the Emu? What he should have done? I don't know. I feel like he drew a lot of 2Ks that game. Emu draws bricks or he knows he will live next turn. Yeah. I mean, Denny, I don't know. Is Mihawk good into ace? No, I thought Mihawk struggles into ace. I thought Mihawk struggled into ace. Mihawk beats Emu. I could be wrong about this, chat, because I haven't done too much OP14 testing. I thought it was that Emu loses to ace. Or I'm sorry, no. Sorry. Emu loses to Mihawk, but Mihawk loses to ace. I think Jinbei's a sick deck. I bet they show it for the top 4. Jinbei has a good matchup into everything except ace. I feel like the reason that ace is so good this format is because a lot of the new decks that jump into the fray and are good and diversify the meta just lose to Ace. Yeah, I think Mihawk is good into Emu, but not Ace. You got to see Law and Beppo often. Oh yeah, for the to rest the 10 drops. That would make sense. The worst matchup for Ace, Red Black Sabo. Just kidding, that's not true. I don't know what Ace's worst matchup is in this format, at least. I feel like your matchup into Blue Purple Luffy could be really interesting. Ace's worst matchup is Blue Yellow Nami. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. I could also see Boa being really interesting, right? Because of Boa has the ability to be so aggressive, being able to cheat out characters onto the field, being able to make you burn life when you KO one of their characters, right? But then on top of that, having Perfume Femur to go for game. Promo Nami is a bad matchup, I think. I think Promo Nami is a bad matchup, truthfully. Yes, correct, Wendigo. Hopefully I said that right. Also, Clanks, Rokotsu, and Yo6, thank you so much for following over on Twitch. Chat reminder, please don't be toxic. None of you right now are being toxic or anything, and this is just a general reminder. We watch these championships to enjoy these championships and have a good time. It's really hard to have a good time when people are saying, oh my god, this player sucks, blah, blah, blah. I would play better than him, blah, blah, blah. If I knew all the information in my opponent's hand, I would be able to win every single game, blah, blah, blah. The decks in top 4, Kareru, are Ace, Blue Purple Luffy, Jinbei, and Purple Doflamingo. Yeah, I know. I'm going to start timing people out if they're being toxic. It's Blue Purple Luffy from OP14. All right, chat, we've got the top 4. Oh, let me restart that. Chat, we've got the top 4 of this tournament. Blue Purple Luffy, once heralded as the best deck in format, has definitely fallen off the totem pole a little bit, but still, especially if you watched my tier list video the other day, is still a very good deck within this format. Wait, was it Mihawk? Oh my god, chat, I'm so sorry. That's not Jinbei, that's Mihawk. Chat, Mihawk is in top 4. Chat, I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. This is Mihawk. Mihoku. That's my bad, chat. That's my bad. I was too busy trying to yell at you guys. He is going to be facing the Mihawk, though. Speak of the devil. Dracula Mihawk, one of the brand new leaders within the format, has definitely been upped as one of the best decks in the game heading into these championships and heading into this tournament. It's going to be interesting, especially with the proactive resting that this leader can do and having the ability to rest his own characters for additional effects to see if he's going to be able to pull out the win against Luffy. Luffy's going to have to depend on those 8,000 power promo Rogers, and we'll see if he can do it. Chat, I'm so sorry for lying to you guys. No Jinbei, no Jinbei. Mihawk has an interesting hand right now. We see a Kid Killer Searcher in this hand, but on top of that, chat, we've got the 5-cost Perona, which is a nice 5-cost that we've seen a lot of times in the deck. The Coffin Bow, which is a great card to be able to get going on your effects. And on top of that, it has the 1-cost event, 1-cost green event that I'm currently looking up the name right now. I think it's the All Out, if we're going to go all out. something of the sort. I'll tell you the effect here in a second. The Luffy has a little bit of ramping right in the Zoro Juro and also the It's to Die For. Also got the 5-cost Nami and a 2K Sanji and a Gum Gum Giant. Chat, the event in Luffy's hand in Mihawk's hand. The event in Mihawk's hand, I know you're strong, so I'll go all out from the very start. On main, if you rest 2 of your Dawn cards, up to 2 of your opponent's rested characters with a cost of 7 or less will not become active during your opponent's next refresh phase, and as a counter 3K event. Mihawk going first in this one is probably going to play the Coffin Boat. And so with that one now here in this game is going to get the Coffin Boat out onto the field. Draw 1 card because your leader is Dracula Mihawk, passing off the turn, the end of turn, restanding the 1 Dawn. I think drew the Kiku Nojo for turn or off of the Coffin Boat. Luffy not having anything on the 2 Dawn is going to go ahead probably and play Kid Killer out onto the field. Kid Killer being able to find supernovas. Maybe is running a supernova kind of package. A lot of supernovas do have the slash attribute, so may work well within this deck. Has made him top 4 in this championship so far. Starts out with the 6K swing, counters out with the Sanji, countering out early, and the Kid Killer going in. The Kid Killer moving in. We'll see what he grabs. Law and Beppo being a supernova kind of card, as well as the Stun Bonnie. I was really curious to see heading into this championship if people would play Stun Bonnie heading into this format, whether it's the green Bonnie deck, whether it's Dracula Mihawk, Zoro. Stun Bonnie is such a nice card to be able to knock people off from curve, if you've heard me talk about it on this channel in previous videos. Right, especially against blue-purple Luffy, if you've ever played green-yellow Law. Green-yellow Law excels in the blue-purple Luffy matchup because of this card. Being able to knock your opponent off curve and be able to force your opponent to take back a turn, essentially. And so even though not a slash-type character, Bonnie going to be joining the fray here in the next couple turns. So now drawing for turn, I think finding another Zoro Juro. Could play the Zoro Juro out onto the field and try to ramp in the next turn. Maybe do a double ramp kind of deal as the Mihawk will hit 5 and maybe do the Stun Bonnie as we just saw revealed. And so starts out 6,000 power at lead. Does have some counter events to be able to utilize. If that is a Kiku Nojo at the end of the hand, does have a 2K to get out. But with 1 Dawn open, has plenty of opportunities. But is going to go ahead and take it. Go down to 4. So now the Zoro Juro coming out onto the field. Zoro Juro, not necessarily a card right now that is going to ramp. But because next turn when he swings, Luffy is going to be at 3 or less life, is going to be able to ramp 1 Dawn as active. I feel like a hiccup is coming. And is going to actually play Perona instead. The new Perona that came out in the OP14 format is such a nice card, right? To be able to stun 5 costs or less, not allowing this Zoro to actually swing. This Zoro Juro not going to be able to swing as this 8,000 power swing connects, and with 1 Dawn as active, pass off the turn. Not a stun Bonnie, but does have a way to stop the Luffy from ramping with Zoro Juro. It's to die for, though, because the Perona is a 6,000 power character, is going to be going ahead and ramping 2 Dawn, though. So the deterrent of the ramping is not going to go exactly as planned, but Luffy now at 6 is going to be able to go to 8 and use leader effect in the next turn. Starts out with the 6,000 power swing. Just needs a 2K to get out of this. Does have 1 in hand, but decides to go down to 3. Yet again, finds a 6 cost Trafalgar Law, so a very interesting deck list in my opinion. of this Dracula Mihawk. Now with the It's to Die For, because there's a 6,000 power character on the opponent's side of the field, is going to be able to ramp too. And with the rest of the Dawn, goes ahead with Nami and trying to filter out the hand a little bit, maybe trying to stack the deck or get rid of some of these cards that you do not need. 9-cost Sanji going to be really nice in the next turn, whether or not the Dracula Mihawk decides to stun one of the Dawn. I don't know. A lot of blue-purple Luffys have dropped Dracula Mihawk, the 9-cost. They might play him even again, but I don't know. We haven't seen it yet. So is going to leave those 2 cards on the top. I think a Gum Gum Giant and something else. Another potential event. Dracula Mihawk now going into this turn, hitting, quick math, 7 Dawn right now. 7 Dawn does not have a Shanks to utilize, but could go ahead with the 6-cost Trafalgar Law and play down on the field another 5-cost like a Perona, like a Stun Bonnie, to be able to flood the board with these small swings. Try to net some of these Gum Gum Giants out of hand or something of the sort. Is going to go ahead and play that Trafalgar Law. The 6-cost blocker from OP14, not a card that we've seen a lot of Mihawks play, is going to go ahead, pick up the Kid Killer and play down the Perona. The Perona has to be rested. The card that you play off of the Law does have to be rested, and so is going to force the Nami and the Zoro to not be rested till your opponent's end of the next turn. So Nami cannot block, Zoro cannot ramp, and now attaching 1 Dawn is going to swing 7,000 power with the Perona. So a 2K counter getting out of that swing. Dracula Mihawk now using leader effect to rest the Coffin Boat and restand 3 Dawn. Now swinging 8 is going to go ahead, net 1 more life to put into the hand. Going to be a Gum Gum Giant and 1 Dawn left active at the end of turn through the Coffin Boat. Luffy now goes through with his leader effect. And so does find a Roger. Roger going to be very important in this matchup and more than likely going to be played off of this 9-cost Sanji, right? Giving plus 2,000 power to the Luffy, right? Because you are going to be at 10 Dawn. Is going to go ahead, grab Gum Gum Giant instead of Gear 2. So is thinking about drawing for turn the 3-cost It's to Die For event. So now drawing for turn, we're going to see the strength of UP Luffy at this point. Immediately resting 9, wasting no time to play this SP Sanji and get out Roger. Plus 2,000 power for the Luffy because you're at 10 Dawn. Luffy is now going to be an 8,000 power leader through your opponent's next turn. I think now swinging at leader, I think I heard this 8,000 power swing. Sanji and Roger, a winning combo for this deck, and what it's really come down to at this point, in my opinion. So still with 1 Dawn open and several cards in hand, does have a couple 2Ks, does have a counter event, a couple counter events to be honest, to be able to work around. Could be even a situation where we see maybe Dead Man's Game in the next turn, resting for Dawn and then going ahead and utilizing leader effect to restand 3 of those Dawn. So is going to pass after taking the life. Everything stood as active. 1 Dawn left up for potentially a Gum Gum Giant, sitting now at 9 Dawn. If you go ahead and use your leader effect, though, the Dracula Mihawk does state on the leader after leader effect that you cannot play a character card from your hand during the turn. So would have to only stick to things like events and of the sort. So maybe if you're going to play a character, play it first before you go in. But if you do play a character and then maybe try to use Dead Man's Game or something, might not be able to swing with any of these characters or maybe one of these characters at most because Luffy being at an 8,000 power leader. definitely Luffy being able to turn by turn by turn by turn, being 8,000 power through your opponent's turn has made it a reason why this deck has continued to exist within this format if you've watched the last couple championships that we've talked about on this channel. And so ends up going with a Kid Killer first to be able to search. Looking at that top 5 for a Supernova. Can't grab the Tashigi and ends up whiffing. That's the thing about this style of deck. You have less cards that you can grab off of searches like Kid and Killer. You're more likely to whiff on the searches. You see the player's face on that UP Luffy. He was like, oh, okay. Kid and Killer, though, on the opponent's attack is going to be able to set one Dawn up as active. Going to go with the Piranha to once again stun some of these characters. Nami and Zoro not going to be able to block or ramp. And especially potentially after a leader effect, you've still got some Dawn to be able to utilize to be able to swing if you want. So the Coffin Boat restanding 3 Dawn after being rested off of leader effect. 5 Dawn left as active. Cannot play any more characters down, but could redistribute this Dawn a little bit to be able to swing. You may want to leave some Dawn open, though, in case potentially the swings start coming at face. The Piranha's 6,000 power base only. 2 Dawn is going to be used on them to make them 8,000 power. So we're going to try to fetch a card out of this Luffy's hand. A 1K Zoro gets out of that a perfect card to utilize. And it looks like we're committing 2 more Dawn to get another swing maybe with Piranha. Is maybe trying to get a 2K out of hand. Right now he's trying to fetch for the Gum Gum Giants in the sort. And now the 9,000 power swing is going to be used. Resting 1 Dawn for Gum Gum Giant is going to pitch the It's to Die for, putting 2 Dawn back in, drawing 2 cards. We'll see what 2 he draws. Bon Clay and the Gear 2, we know those were in the top. Now goes off into his turn after Mihawk passes with 1 Dawn open. Finds another Roger promo, so going to be another turn as he's likely going to draw this Roger for turn and immediately play it onto the field for a second consecutive turn at being at 8,000 power. So is going to go for the Uso Hachi, a 2K in the hand. Now going in, the Nami and the Zoro still can't be rested at this point, but that might not matter for this Luffy. Plenty of counter events in the hand. Is going to immediately rest 8, like I mentioned, for that Roger and get the loop once again. We see the Mihawk player laughing, saying, of course, yes, yes. Now an 8,000 power swing at lead, I think it is. And with the Sanji and the Roger, that's a 9 and 10,000 power swing coming in as well. Especially with Mihawk, right? Some of these events, if you don't have the new event, Surpass Me, Roar Zoro, not going to be able to get plus 4,000 power. So going to have to give up multiple cards. Goes with the Luffy event and a 1K to get out of the swing to 9,000 power. So now the 9,000 power swing with Sanji going at lead. Now that you've taken this last life, Trafalgar Law is a blocker at this point. Trafalgar Law from OP14, that's 6 costs on the field, having the condition if you're at 1 or less life, becoming a blocker. And Luffy, after this 10,000 power swing, probably just going to pass off the turn, leaving 2 Dawn as active. We'll see if he just decides to try to utilize these Dead Man's Game to try to go for game at this point. The last swing he has to worry about is thinking about blocking right here. So is going to go ahead, block, pass off the turn. So now at a full 10 Dawn, still has some Piranhas to swing with. You've got Dead Man's Game and a leader effect to be able to restand Dawn. You could rest the 2 Dawn. Top deck something pretty good. I don't know what it was. It looks like Law and Beppo. So Law and Beppo would be able to put you to be a 7,000 power leader, right? And you can proactively rest and force something not to swing, like that active 10 cost Roger on the field. And so we'll see how he decides to play this. Is going to go ahead, play the Law and Beppo. Law and Beppo going to be freezing the rested 10 cost Roger. So is not going to be restood as active and swing at him in the next turn. Now using leader effect to restand the 3 Dawn. Is going to be a 7,000 power leader. Probably wants to leave some up as active, right, for your counter events, especially because you know a Sanji and a Roger is going to swing at least at you. But no, attaches all 3 and goes in. Being a 10,000 power swing. Swinging at leader, it sounds like. So a 10,000 power swing at lead is just going to be a simple Gum Gum Giant to get out. There's no more Dawn that's active, so you know the Perona's not going to be able to swing at you. Has many ways to counter out of this. But how many counter cards does the Mihawk have in hand? Still have to hit twice to be able to get game at this point. Could go ahead with Gear 2 potentially to get out of this swing. Would put you at 11,000 power and be able to keep the cards in your hand. Is going to go exactly that. So restanding 1 Dawn with your Coffin Boat at the end of turn. Luffy now going in, going to use his leader effect. Does not find another Roger, but does play the 9-cost Dracula Mihawk in this deck. We saw in OP14, a lot of these Luffy decks took out the Dracula Mihawk from the list. But now with the format shifting and Emu becoming less and less prevalent and right not being in this top 4, Luffy playing it once again. The other match in the feature is Doflamingo versus Ace. So probably going to be Ace, to be honest. Starts off with a 9,000 power swing at lead, just trying to test the hand. With 1 Dawn as active, a Dead Man's Game would be able to get out of the swing. But with the plethora of counter in your hand with 3 different 2Ks, you might just go 2-1 to get out of it. Right, 2-1 would be able to get you to 10,000 power. And so is going to go 2 with the Kiku Nojo and 1 with the Kid Killer. Get out of that swing. Check, correct me if I'm wrong, but Purple Doflamingo has a bad matchup into Ace, right? Like, all the new leaders just struggle into Ace, and that's why Ace is considered the best deck in format right now. I think Luffy can be favored. And so is going to go 10,000 power now at lead. Is going to be able potentially to survive. The Nami could swing at this point. That's something that this Mihawk has to think about. Right? Nami only being a 6,000 power character, there's still 10 Dawn up as active. And so is going to go ahead, take that final life. Tashigi in the hand is going to not be enough, it feels like. And so is maybe thinking of resting 3 Dawn? is going to go ahead and rest 6 Dawn for Gum Gum Red Hawk. Bottom deck, the Law and Beppo. Still has 6 Dawn open, passing off the turn. Still has a blocker on the field. Still leaving 4 Dawn open, 1 blocker. Means that you can get yourself out of Dead Man's Game if Mihawk decides to play it on this turn. Kid Killer does restand Dawn, but he didn't utilize it. But it only is on opponent's attack, lucky. So I guess maybe gauging that with the Kid Killer on the field, there could be some secret event in hand, right? A plus 4,000 power counter event, a plus 3,000 Dead Man's Game. So playing the safer route, he feels like at this point. Still about 10 minutes left in this game. And I feel like if Mihawk doesn't win it here, I feel like there's a pretty good shot that UP Luffy will just go for game. Jacob, I don't think Zoro stomped, or I don't think Nami stomped Zoro out of it. I think the OP14 decks in general stomped Zoro out of it. Although I do agree that Nami is pretty nice. I mean, we saw it in the top 8 of this tournament. Definitely a good deck, but I think it's more, I think it gives more credit to the OP14 decks rather than Nami. Because Nami was still good in EBO3, but didn't break the triangle, per se. And so Perona now looking at attaching 2 Dawn, potentially 2 Perona, go in with 8s. Luffy, being a 6,000 power leader again, is going to force something like a Gear 2 or a Gum Gum Giant. I think is just trying to grab multiple cards right now. I know the Roger's going to be so good. Yeah, I think Blue Purple Luffy in a pretty good spot with a blocker, 4 Dawn active, and 1 life still. Is going to go ahead with the 1. And Gum Gum Giant, trying to draw maybe a little bit more natural counter, is going to find a Sanji and an Otama. The Otama at least has counter. Sanji not going to do anything for you on this defensive side, but be a Gum Gum Giant target. And so Dead Man's Game now coming in to rest 2 Dawn. And going to do another Dead Man's Game. So going to use 2 consecutive Dead Man's Games with the rest of the 8 Dawn to be able to then use leader effect to restand 2 Dawn and now swing 3 7s. Can 3 7s, or I'm sorry, a 6 and 2 7s potentially. Can that get him there? This was a risky play. And so a 6,000 power swing at lead with Perona. Just a 1K Bond Clay to get out of it. 7,000 power with the Perona. Is going to be a 2K from the Otama or the Usohachi. And he gets out of this one. So is going to get out of this turn alive. Getting out of the final swing with the Usohachi. Now Luffy going into his leader effect before he swings in with all of those swings. So now is going to be going in, drawing a card for turn. 9,000 power at lead. 2K, 2K, 1K to get out of that one. Only 2 cards in hand. Swinging in with the Roger is going to win. Blue Purple Luffy going to be moving on to our finals. I think what the Mihawk did is I think he knew he was in huge trouble. So he just, I think his best shot was to just hope that Luffy had no counter in hand. Unfortunately, that didn't work, though. Yeah, great job by the Luffy to use Gum Gum Giant first and get value out of some of his Dawn and be able to potentially draw more counter for if there were Dead Man's Games. I think UP Luffy is a pretty solid pick. So, chat, we don't know the result of the other match yet, the top 4 match. You gotta imagine that the Doflamingo heading into Top Cut maybe beat an ace once, maybe twice in Swiss. You gotta think, right? I think ace is definitely a difficult matchup for UP Luffy, but I don't think it's impossible. He definitely has way more opportunities to be an 8,000 power leader than you, but I don't know, like you playing 2 bodies and ramping those 2 bodies really, really fast, I feel like it's got to be tough for Ace, right? Because if blue-purple Luffy utilizes It's to Die For and ramp twice, and then maybe Zoro, like as soon as he plays Zoro, you have to play Atmos, right? So I don't know. Chat, we don't know who won the other top 4 match. It's going to be UP Luffy versus somebody else. I think they are getting word now. I think Ace won. I think Ace won, chat. I think that's what they're saying. Chat, I'm not fluent in Japanese. I'm just trying to pick up some keywords that they're saying. I don't have their audio on for you because I don't want to get copyright claimed or anything like that, but I am listening to them. They keep talking about Doflamingo, though. They're talking about 8,000 power swings at lead, so it's probably Ace that won. Yeah, I think Ace won. If I had to take a guess. Chat, if you're liking the stream, please make sure to subscribe to the channel. We do all the Japan Championships as they happen, and there might be a stream as well tomorrow night. I'm not sure. But whenever it happens, you know who to call, Ghostbusters. They're saying that they're going to get you. Tell them to hire. They should be saying that they should hire me. That's what they should be doing. Although I can't tell Chad to stop being toxic if I do the official broadcasts. Chad, do you guys like my Christmas tree? Chad, do you like my Christmas tree? Do you see it? Do you like it? Tell me you like it. If you're already subscribed, make sure to leave a like on the stream. Chat, there are over 400 of you in YouTube right now, and this stream only has 55 likes. If half of you liked the stream right now, we would be at 250 likes. Also, over on Twitch, Jude, Yesay, Big Poppy Johns, I love that name, RPG, and Inhuman. Thank you so much for following over on Twitch. Thank you so much to everybody, whether on Twitch or YouTube. Twitch also, you have 87 people watching right now. Where did you all come from? We don't know yet, Key. We saw UP Luffy win the top 4 round, and we think that Ace won. So we think the finals is going to be Ace versus UP Luffy. Your tree needs a chopper on it. I do have a chopper ornament. It's on the main tree in our living room. Oh, wait. Did they show the 2 decks? Did I miss it, chat? Chat, here we go with the finals. It's UP Luffy. UP Luffy fell off a little bit with the introduction of OP14. But still a very strong deck, especially with that Roger promo, as we saw in the top 4 round. Being an 8,000 power leader is good. Who knew? Hey, I appreciate that, Jacob. Doflamingo! Chat, it's Doflamingo! Oh my god! Chat, Doflamingo in the finals. This is my favorite leader of OP14. I am so excited for this match. Don Quixote Doflamingo, if you do not know, I don't even need to look up what his leader effect does. On opponent's attack once per turn, if you don -1, you can select either your leader or a Don Quixote Pirates type character. If you do, redirect your opponent's attack to said character. This is going to be a great one. I'm so excited to see how this matchup goes. I have no idea. UP Luffy is going first in this one, which is going to be nice because we know that this UP Luffy is playing not only Zoro Juro, but also It's to Die For. Chat, I don't know Japanese. I don't know what they were saying. Dofi on his way to the top, beating both Emu and Ace. Doflamingo playing Ace in the top 4 round. Doflamingo, man, the time has come. Chat, with these deck lists, whether you're watching the YouTube video after the fact or you're live in chat right now, I will post these 2 deck lists in Discord. I will get both of these deck lists and I'll post them in the Discord server. If you want to join Discord on Twitch, !Discord, but in YouTube, you can join with the description down below. UP Luffy has a little bit of stuff going on in this hand. Has It's to Die For, right? The ability to ramp. And also Gear 2. Also has Sanji, Usohachi, and also Gum Gum Giant. Usohachi, really just a 2K in this matchup because of the redirecting of attacks. Doflamingo has a pretty decent hand, I will say. Has a couple different searches in Sugar and the 1-drop event. The 1-drop searcher event, especially on the even curve, right, going second, we could see Sugar come into play on turn 1. But I think maybe going in with the Doflamingo event as well. What the heck is that event called, chat? And here we go. Luffy going first is just going to go ahead and pass. Now the Doflamingo, we'll see what he decides to search with. Is going to go ahead with one, either playing Sugar or the 1-cost event. I do not forgive those who laugh at my family. Is going to go for that event. Looking at the top 3, does find 2 Virgos and also a Sugar. So going to be interesting to see what he grabs here on this search. Sugar, going to be very nice. Sugar with that on-KO effect of playing a 5-cost or less from your hand is going to go for the Virgo instead. Virgo having that protection effect. And so now with the 1... Did he have another searcher event? Wait, what did I miss? Is going to grab a Doflamingo. Oh, maybe I think drew the 1-cost event for a turn when I wasn't looking, trying to look up the name of the 1-cost event. Ends up playing both of them down, grabs Doflamingo, looking off to be a decent start. So now taking this first life of 6,000 power, It's to Die For. If he decides to play, it would only ramp 1, so might as well Gear 2. If he Gear 2s now to ramp a Dawn and go to 4, Doflamingo could go ahead and play a 6,000 power character if he's got one on 4. Most of his 4 cost, though, being 1,000 power. And here's the thing, because you did not grab Sugar at this point. I don't know if he really has a character to play on this turn besides Sugar to continue setting up the hand. You were really looking for some ramp, I think, at this point. So is going to go in with the Sugar. Does find some cards in there. An 8 cost, I think, also finds a Dellinger. Might be good to play Dellinger on this turn, right? Because you can redirect the leader attack into the Dellinger to go ahead and search a little bit more. Is going to bottom deck 2 8-cost Dofis, I think I just saw. So is going to play that Dellinger out on the field. 1 Dawn as active, passing off the turn. Does not decide to swing at lead. Interesting to leave 1 Dawn as active, maybe thinking about an event like the Searcher event at this point. Maybe a situation where Luffy does not even swing at all on this turn, but no, he's going to go 6,000 power at Sugar. The redirect now from Doflamingo going at Dellinger. Dellinger going to re-ramp that Dawn that we Dawn minus, and now go in with a search. Does find a Monet, right? Could be nice to be able to have. We saw Monet do so well in the top, what was it, top 8? Top 8 round. And now this allows the Sugar to survive on the turn, right? Especially on the even curve. Now you can play a 5 cost from your hand and get the Sugar out. Bon Clay now ramping a Dawn. Is going to put Luffy at 7, but the It's to Die For now going to 8. Even though with the It's to Die For you did not get the double ramp effect, now you put yourself in a position to where you're going to 8 next turn and going to be able to use your leader effect. And so Dofi now at 6 is going to go ahead and rest the Sugar to be able to go ahead with another search, and more than likely probably going to play Virgo on this turn. Virgo could be a nice card to grab, but maybe looking for something like a 4-cost Sugar again to be able to put onto the field, and maybe is eyeing up this baby 5 to play on the turn. Is going to go with Treble, a nice 2K that we see this Doflamingo deck run. And with the 5 is going in with the Virgo. The Virgo is going to be a nice body to be able to put onto the field, right? But now this Bon Clay is going to be able to swing 7,000 power. And so off of this search is going to find a ton of cards. 9-cost Sanji, 2K Sanji to be able to put into the hand, and a Roger. Going to more than likely be going in with Roger on this play, being played off of the 9-cost Sanji to get the loop of 8,000 power going. And so is going to think about grabbing the Nami, the 5-cost Nami blocker. Is going to put the rest on top, draw 1 card. And that 1 card being the 2K Sanji. A lot of times you'll see UP Luffy's conceal the amount of counter that they have in hand, right? You saw him grab the 1K to publicly show that it was a Straw Hat character based on the leader effect, and then draw into a 2K, right? Kind of messes with your opponent on how much counter you actually have in hand, can play a little bit of mind games. This is the finals, by the way, chat, if you did not know. And so now with the 9 is going to go ahead with the Sanji, and flipping over what I assume is the Roger, getting onto the field because the Luffy is at 10. Donnie is going to be plus 2,000 power. Now an 8,000 power swing coming in. Is going to go ahead, take this life, a potential trigger. What could it be if it's a slow beam sword, which it is going to be able to ramp 1 Dawn. Now he's going to be able to be at 9. And with the 9 is going to be able to potentially swing at lead with Virgo, but also play the 8-cost Doflamingo on the field. But now if you tap 8 for the Doflamingo and Dawn -1, you're still going to be able to get the Rosinante effect off. So now at 8 Dawn in total, accidentally dropping your cards. Don't drop your cards, chat. Gets another Virgo out onto the field. Virgo being 7,000 power is going to be much easily be able to swing at lead. And I think Doflamingo is going to have to climb an uphill battle to be able to get in this game. Ends up passing off the turn, leaving one Dawn open for a potential counter event. Now we see off of this leader effect, there is not going to be another Sanji Roger play to the relief probably of the Doflamingo, but still some good cards in there, right? We love Thunder Bagua. Going to be a nice event. Has a little bit of counter in this Zoro, Juro, and Bon Clay, a Gum Gum Giant. This is going to be an interesting turn, not having another Roger. But you're still in a pretty good spot as UP Luffy because you've now established Sanji, Roger. Pretty good board at this point, right? A 9 and 10,000 power swing. The Doflamingo is going to be able to don -1 of your swings potentially. So you're going to have to think about what you swing and where you swing it. Is going to go with the Gum Gum Giant. I think bottom decking the rest of the cards. Is going to draw into a 2K Sanji. Not a bad card to get off of the top of the deck. I wonder if you ever just played 9-drop Luffy and just go aggro. Is going to swing now 9,000 power at lead because the Bon Clay copying the Doflamingo on the field. Still has 3 different swings, potentially 4 with a Rush Luffy. And is going to use Doflamingo's effect, right, to tap 1 Dawn and ramp 1 Dawn as active. Way to bring yourself back, especially if you plan on using your leader effect in this turn. And is going to take the first swing. Is going to put it in hand. We see Divine Departure in this list. Another 9,000 power swing at lead. Take it and go down to 1. Another potential trigger. Maybe another slow beam sword. But ends up putting it in the hand. Now the 10,000 power swing. Potentially a redirect. He's been very aggressive at taking life at this point. Plenty of cards in hand. We know that UP Luffy could play something like Pudding. And is going to go ahead with that redirect swing at the Doflamingo. And give the 2K treble instead. Right, as Roger swinging 10,000 power, Doflamingo being a 9,000 power character, you needed a 2K to go to 11. Remember also that especially if you redirect into an active character, chat, if you did not know, that active character is still engaged in battle and can be knocked out. Your opponent just can't choose that active character unless it says so otherwise. Hence why the redirect of the attack on the Doflamingo forces counter out of the hand. One card that the Luffy is going to have to think about in the coming turns is the slow beam. Could be very interesting. That's one of the reasons why I think maybe the 9 cost is a good play right here. Because you just set up another body on the field. You imagine that Bon Clay is going down on this turn. So the 6K swing getting the baby 5. No blockers on the field, so you got to get out of these swings. Resting the 9 for that rush. Luffy is going to, after the Dawn -1, draw 1 card. It's a Pudding. Might be able to use that in the next turn. And swing at lead is going to go ahead, take that life, go down to 0. There's a 10-drop Doflamingo, but 10-drop Doflamingo maybe not as good in this matchup. The 10-drop Doflamingo on the Dawn -3 on play only interacts with 7 costs or less in terms of the freezing of the attacks. So a dead card in your hand if you don't play it. Can KO an 8 cost, so could get rid of this Roger if he wanted to. Could get rid of the Roger. Maybe swing at this Bon Clay to get rid of it on the field. Maybe utilize these Virgos to swing in at lead. Try to get some cards out of hand. And is going to go ahead with the baby 5. Swing at Bon Clay. Try to get one of these cards out of the hand. Should UP Luffy ever play slow beam sword, chat? Question. Just a thought. Is going to get the KO on that. Does not want to give up any attacks. Or does not want to give up any cards to save that Bon Clay. The Doflamingo thinking about attaching 1 Dawn. No 10 drop coming in on this turn. As he attaches 1 to Virgo, is going to think about at least an 8,000 power swing. Now with the Divine Departure, going to minus 8,000 power on the Roger, the 10,000 power character. Is maybe thinking about swinging a couple times at this 2,000 power Roger. May go ahead and swing 5 at the Roger. Is going to go 5,000 at the 2,000 Roger. Claim that knockout. We've seen Divine Departure in the last set come in a lot of these purple lists, especially because that minus 8,000 power can almost remove anything on the field. And so with the Virgo now on the when attacking, is going to try to go for board clear at this point. The Dawn -1, minus 2,000 power is going to be a 7,000 power swing at the Sanji. Now this swing is thinking about Dawn minusing again. Is going to go ahead and Dawn minus once again, make this Sanji a 5,000 power character. With this Virgo, a 7,000 power swing, and you still have a Dofi. Definitely has counter to be able to get out of the swing, but no, says no. Says I'd rather you go at face right now with this Doflamingo. And so 9,000 power going at lead. Could just be a Gum Gum Giant to get out of the swing. Stay at 3 life. 4 Dawn left open. Is going to go ahead, take this first life, put it in the hand. Especially with the redirect effect of your leader effect. Could be able to restand and is going to go with the baby 5. The baby 5 on play is going to re-ramp 1 Dawn as active. So is thinking about what we saw in the top 8 match against the Emu, utilizing baby 5 to redirect the attack and hit the baby 5 for a potential heal. The Luffy right now finding an 8 cost Roger as well as a 9 cost Sanji. The thing about this though is if you go in with a 9 cost Sanji to play Roger, sure you get 8. But you only have 1 Dawn left for your counter events and the sword. And the rest of this top does not help you. So I was thinking about drawing Thunder Bagua from turn. Still in a relatively decent spot, I think, as the Luffy. But the board clear really doing some damage against you, minimizing the amount of swings that you can have. So drawing the Thunder Bagua from turn, going back to 10. Is going to go ahead with the 9, get that Roger back out onto the field. And with only 1 Dawn up as active, can't use slow beam. Is going to, on this 8,000 power swing, probably utilize Doflamingo's on opponent's attack effect to re-ramp 1 Dawn. Using the Doflamingo, getting that back to 10. Now using the redirect on the baby 5 with the on KO effect is going to go ahead Dawn minus to heal 1 life. Baby 5 putting in a ton of work in this game. Now a 10,000 power swing at lead. Does need to either get out of this or take the life, and is going to take the life. Put what looks like a Dellinger in the hand. And so now Doflamingo going back to 10, still has 2 Virgos and the Dofi in the hand. I think drew another 10 cost. No, drew a Divine Departure. The Divine Departure could be able to get rid of this Luffy, and you can leave a couple Dawn up for the slow beam to minimize the amount of swings coming at you because you have the redirect. And so Sugar now going in with the search is going to find a 2K in treble. Chad, this matchup is so fascinating. And so now attaching 1 Dawn to the Virgo is going to go ahead, swing. Dawn -1 is going to minus 2,000 power. Probably the Luffy to make it an 8,000 power character. Countering out with 1 because you're an 8,000 power leader. We could go ahead and see another Divine Departure play to put the Luffy back down to 0 to get rid of it on the field and focus the rest of these swings maybe at lead. Is going to go ahead, swing another 8,000 power. Is going to minus the Dawn on the previous Virgo to put it at 6,000. I think is still swinging at lead. I think. He could be swinging at the Luffy now because he's plus 2,000 power over it. This is such an interesting spot. Pudding does do a lot of damage, Nachinis. This pudding in hand is huge. And so was swinging at the Luffy is going to get that knockout. So now you have all this Dawn to work with. You can keep your Divine Departure in hand. If you don't have another baby 5, your redirect attack is going into the Sugar more than likely. Is going to go 9,000 power now at lead. Just a simple 2K to get out of this. Dang, ban Pudding, man. Don't let Pudding just win this game. Oh, that would be so sad. That would be so sad if Pudding won this game. But you have to think about that. Is going to go ahead and tap 1 Dawn, maybe going with Gum Gum Giant. Is going to get rid of that Bagua, minus 2 Dawn and draw a couple cards. Does find Sanji and a Giant. We know those 2 cards were there. Maybe is trying to feint for an all-in kind of play. Does have another baby 5 in there. Will ramp 1. Does have the ability to heal 1. If the Luffy does play Pudding here, to reset the hand, a slow beam sword can go a long way to be able to keep him in this game. We see the 9-cost Mihawk coming in. The 9-cost Mihawk could bottom deck the baby 5. I feel like you still got time as Luffy in this game. You would be able to bottom deck the baby 5, but the Virgo would be able to save the baby 5. Because baby 5 is a Don Quixote Pirates type character, Virgo would be able to save it with a Dawn -1. So we'll see if he tries to do it. I don't think he tries to do it. He might try to do it, but I think he more so just tries to establish a body on the field. And so is going to have the Dracula Mihawk at the top of the deck. Is he going to go for Sanji Mihawk? He looks like he's tapping 9 for the Sanji. Maybe he doesn't, maybe disregards it. Maybe realizes that Virgo can save baby 5. Virgo, if you do not know, protects from removing from the field of play. So protects bottom decking, prevents going back into hand, prevents KOs. Oh, but it has to be by effects, though. So it has to be a KO by effect. If you battle and KO it, that you can't protect it as Virgo. And so now swings 6,000 power at Sugar. Does not want to allow him to keep getting this one card search every single turn. And I think is really just trying to bait out the baby 5. And so is going to tap 1 for the Doflamingo effect to go back up to 10. And is going to let this baby 5 get KO'd. You can use Slow Beam Sword on the next swing. And so now swings the 9 with Sanji. I would use Slow Beam Sword here, I think, to rest the Roger. But maybe is just going in for the KO first on the baby 5. But is going to go with the Slow Beam Sword, actually. Do a Wombo combo to do both of them. To not only redirect the attack, but swing at baby 5, take the KO, and now utilize baby 5's KO effect to put the top card into the life. Now going to set at 1 life into the end of this turn. The 9 for Sanji is going to get Dracul Mihawk out onto the field. And so attempting to bottom deck the Virgo is going to go another Dawn minus. Is going to put Dofi now at 8 Dawn on this turn. I think Luffy, though, still at a very good position. Right? Still has 2 life. Still has 1 Dawn in hand. Or 1 Dawn active. Man, a pudding would be devastating in this next turn. You have to, like, draw a Slow Beam Sword. No, Jaboy. So, Slow Beam Sword, if you do not know, rest one of your opponent's characters. Then, because you still have to finish the attack, attacked baby 5 and used baby 5's on KO effect to heal a life. So that's how that sequence went. I apologize if I didn't explain it very well. These are my first games casting Dofi. And so attaches 1 Dawn, swings 6,000 power at lead, testing the waters on what he's got in hand right now. Is going to go 1K counter on the Nami. If he tries to go for game, he needs all 3 of these swings to connect, which is a lot harder than it sounds when your opponent is UP Luffy. Hard to tell how much counter they have in their hand. Being able to manipulate the top 5 and also grab a card off leader effect every single turn. It's basically drawing 2 at the start of every turn. Is going to go down with 7,000 power lead. I think maybe going in with a safe route. Is going to minus the Sanji and now swing 7,000 power, putting the Sanji to 7. Might try to clear board yet again. Is going to 2K out of that swing to keep the Sanji alive as that 7,000 power swing was going at the 7,000 power Sanji. Sanji still 7,000 power for the rest of the turn. You've got a lot of cards in hand, but I don't know if you've got enough cards to be able to get out of all of these boss monsters. Gotta do some stuff here. Yeah, it is kind of funny to see people that like alternate art everything in their deck in max rarity, and then they just have a regular leader. Especially because UP Luffy's alternate leader is pretty good, in my opinion. I think it's a good one. If he goes ahead and plays a Dellinger that would be able to redirect one of these attacks, and is going to play 5 for Rosinante. Rosinante being able to pitch the Divine Departure is going to draw 2 cards. Does find a brick in Virgo and a treble, which is a 2K. But I don't know if it found exactly what you're looking for. I think you got to play Dellinger on this turn. I think to have a chance, you need to play Dellinger to redirect an attack and do a search. Is going to go 9,000 power Doflamingo now at the 7,000 power Sanji. Is going to go Gum Gum Giant to get out of that swing. Remember, Gum Gum Giant going to your Straw Hat characters and leaders. Is going to be plus 4,000 after drawing some cards. May go in with a Virgo, another Dawn -1 potentially. So the 7,000 power swing now at the Sanji. Not doing the Dawn -1, so it's going to be a 7,000 power swing on a 7,000 power swing. Just going to be a 1K Bond Clay to get out of it. Is going to restand 2 Dawn through the Rosinante effect, and we pass off the turn to Luffy. Now is the time. Not playing the Dellinger was interesting, in my opinion. Would have loved maybe the Dellinger to come down on the field for a possible redirect and search. And it would be a minimal loss to you, I think. No, there was no Crocodile in this top 16. Yeah, I think Pudding does a lot of damage here. Ends up finding Gear 2 on the leader effect. Drawing for a turn, finding the 5-cost Nami. We could see the 4 come in for Pudding. We saw it drawn many turns ago. Going to reset the big, big hand of double-digit cards for this Doflamingo. And it's all going to depend on these 5 cards. I don't know if there's many combinations of cards that can get you out of this as Doflamingo. You just got to hope that your Luffy player didn't play Pudding. Is going to draw 5 cards here. Does not find any slow beams. I was going to say double slow beam would be disgusting, but I don't think would get you out of this game. Does find plenty of counter, though. Ends up getting a Divine Departure, and now utilizing Doflamingo's leader effect on the 9-cost Sanji, 9,000 power going in at lead, 6 Dawn left active. Is going to go 2K, 2K, 1K to get out of that swing. The 9,000 power with Mihawk is going to redirect an attack off of leader effect into Rosinante for the KO. Is going to attach 3 onto lead and swing 9,000 power. That's going to be the game. UP Luffy winning the first OP14 championship. Not the leader that I think a lot of us expected in this format to be the first winner, the first Japan champion. But I think a lot of us maybe not expecting a purple final of UP Luffy and Doflamingo. Definitely a good game in that one. Definitely enjoyed that game. That game, Doflamingo gets really interesting in the end game, I will say. Because that end game was so good, right? Divine Departure, trying to get rid of these characters, redirecting attacks into Baby 5 to heal a life. The Virgos putting in work too. That was an interesting one. It was a little sad that Pudding was kind of the game decider, but that's how it goes sometimes. That's just how it goes. He definitely did not play into Pudding. He definitely played as if Pudding did not exist. But then again, I don't know if that's how you have to play it as Dofi. That may be how you just have to do it. Who knows? Anyways, chat. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate everybody that stopped by. We had like over 600 viewers at one point on YouTube, and there's like 120 of you here in Twitch chat right now. That's crazy. Musi, Toy, Lemmy, Luke, Riolu. Thank you so much for following over on Twitch. And Crow, thank you as well for subscribing, dropping your Twitch Prime. Chat, I will post the deck list in our Discord server. If you want to see the two deck lists, the UP Luffy and the Doflamingo deck list, I will post them within the next like 5 minutes in our Discord server. All you got to do if you're on Twitch, !Discord. I have a Discord command. You can join our Discord. And if you're on YouTube, you can join the link in the description below. Chat, that is going to be all for me tonight. I am going to go ahead, get that first round up for you guys, and then go to bed because I got a long day of editing tomorrow, especially because there might be another championship tomorrow night. Chat, some people have said that there might be a championship tomorrow night. And so make sure to please subscribe on YouTube, follow on Twitch if you want to make sure that you don't miss a beat with these Japan championships. In Tokyo. Chat, I have posted the Doflamingo deck list in the Discord. I have now posted the winning Luffy list in the Discord. Chat, both of the finals deck lists are in the Discord. I cannot stress this enough. Banana. Thank you so much for following. Tooth, thank you so much for following as well. Chat, he ran one pudding and he found it. One pudding and he found it. Chat, thank you so much for watching. I'm going to go ahead and get this started. I will let you guys know the schedule for tomorrow in the Discord server, so please make sure to do that. Thank you again to everyone who's been watching today and also subscribing, whatever platform you're on. If you're watching the VOD, I appreciate you as well. Thank you so much for 21,000 subscribers here on YouTube. It's a big accomplishment. And for anyone who does not know, this is my full-time job. I do this for a living. I do this stuff for a living. So thank you so much for your support. It literally helps pay the bills. Thank you so much, chat. Have a great rest of the night. No, I read YouTube chat. I'm just in my outro. YouTube Discord link doesn't work. Can we get a new one? Yeah, I can do that. Hold on. Let's see. This should expire never. No limit. Chat, I have posted in both chats. Let me also change it in Discord. There's the Discord link. It is now changed in the description as well, chat. Thank you so much for pointing that out, by the way. Thank you so much for pointing that out. I appreciate that. There is no suspicious activity in my Discord server. There are just a lot of people. No action needed. Thank you to everyone who's joining the Discord server. There's like 30 of you that joined the Discord server. I appreciate that. Chat, I'm going off to work.